Hear me now? Can anyone hear me now? Sound? Is there sound? Is there sound? Can anyone hear? Is there sound now? Is there sound? Okay. I'm just trying to find out what's going on here. Okay. Everybody can hear. How is everybody? I'm waiting for Brother Darren to call me. He'll call in the next 10 minutes. And you know we're here to talk about this election. Thank you, Mr. Buster Brown, Law Superstar, Real Lord of the Rings. I want everybody to know I have a YouTube channel. I hope everybody's on it. I'm going to be putting all the videos I've been making for the last, as many as I can find, the last 11 years, as well as any new ones like this one will be on my site. My YouTube, I have two of them. There's Randy Short, and it's which is the one I want to at least get big now. Randy Short needs your subscription in YouTube. Of course, it's free. Good evening, Spirit McCroy. Good evening, everybody. I absolutely need people to join that. I'm in Twitter. This is my Twitter, Instagram, of course, I'm Randy Short and Randy Lancaster Short in YouTube and Facebook. Give me a lookout. I have these two microphones, and I don't know if they're working or whatever, but I'm trying to get my new equipment. I have another mic stand because eventually, and as much as a lot of us are getting pushed off of Facebook, you know, I called Kamala Harris a lying Hindu skank, and I got put off for 30 days. There's a lot to talk to y'all about. This election stuff is BS. I get whatever you have to say negative about Trump and so forth. But if a civil war broke out tomorrow, Black folk would be jacked up. We need to figure out how to be strategic when these things are going on. And what a lot of our traitors have done has made us stand with one side, which means if the other side is larger, better armed, angrier, we're going to die for the very people who've done nothing but mass incarcerate us, push for abortion, been driving for the illegals and gays and gentrification. They've been just dogging us, and we're going to die for them. This is absolutely crazy. Thank you, Spirit McCoy. I'm just trying to tell people what I see. And while I got you here, let me just say to you that my spirit is troubled over a bad dream and bad thoughts and bad visions that I've had going back the last 2 years, and I didn't understand why I was having them. But I want to tell you what my thoughts. I keep this stuff to myself sometimes because people would think I'm crazy. But about 10 years ago, maybe 11 years ago, I had a dream. I was a poor, underemployed vendor in North Africa, Tunisia, and they took my cart and they killed me. I was humiliated before I was killed, and a revolution took place. But what I did in the dream was I set myself on fire. And hey, how you doing, Brother Adolf? And because I was unemployed at that time, if I had told someone I dreamt about I set myself on fire, people would have had me institutionalized because they were worried about how I was handling what the Great Recession was doing in my life. I only told two people because I didn't want people to think I dream about hurting myself. I don't. But the dream I had occurred 3 or 4 weeks later in Tunisia. A man who was underemployed set himself on fire because they took his vegetable cart, which shook me up because I had dreamt it just like it went down. And I'm not trying to be smart or anything. Trust me, when I have bad dreams, bad thoughts, sometimes I absolutely wish I didn't have them. I don't want to know. A lot of stuff I talked to you about. I don't want to know somebody's cheating on their wife. I don't want to know that someone's molesting their children. I don't want to know this. I should care on a certain level. I do, but on another level, I can't. Yeah, I can barely take care of me or do much for my mother. I can't be in a lot of other people's mess, so I try not to. But all that to say, look, y'all, I had a very bad vision dream. And it was about black women being killed by white racial terrorists. That a group of black women, Boule types, AKA or Delta, about 4 or 5 of them in a car, were all murdered, and it was covered up until it was found out. Then that followed by a lot of Greek letter type people being shot on a beach. And in fact, a fight breaking out where people wanted to get them, and they think they're better than other black people. In fact, they think they're equal to or superior to white folks. And some rednecks let them have it. It happened in spring, summertime. I want to say to you, I didn't understand all these dreams of black women that ride motorcycles, black women that go hiking. Any independent type black women in remote areas would be attacked, if not killed, kidnapped, whatever, and some black men. But the target would be black women. As much as I'm critical of pork chop feminists, it does not mean I don't love, care, want to protect, and esteem black women highly. I'm a mama's boy. I'm a grandmama's boy. I'm a great aunt's boy, and so forth. But we do have a problem with how we're dealing with each other. I'm very adept at dealing with black men being bitches, being failures, not doing what they're supposed to do. But I'm an equalitarian, which means I'll tear the ass of a woman as fast as I will a man, because we all need to be on code. I better understand my dream now that I see how they've pulled out Kumala, who's not a black woman, how they've pulled out Stacey Abrams, how they're pulling out all these black women and making them the face of Biden's victory. In a country where there are 400 million guns, mostly in the hands of very angry white men. And there are a lot of, I see them, independent black women, folk walk around with their behind exposed and by themselves. We've got 60, 70,000 missing black women. I have no doubt in my mind where some of them have been killed and just no one deals with it. Especially not your black women, activist type folks. Now, hey, brother Darren.
Get ready to call you now. I'm ready to send you the tag, all right?
Are you going to send it through Facebook? Which phone? Yeah. So you're good.
Send it now, Lancaster, sure.
Okay, all right. I'm waiting.
I'm tagging you now.
Okay, all right. That's brother Darren. We're going to be getting down in a second, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and put go into what can I record on through this phone? I've got this thing set here. Maybe I should just do I should do a quick Skype thing, right? Hold on 1 second, so we can get this thing moving. I really do think that they're going to hurt some sisters. It's going to be very awful. Something like the Freedom Summer 1964, where the civil rights workers were targeted and they were murdered, and they killed a lot of people. They only talk about the 2 Jewish guys and the 1 black guy, but they did this to others. let us understand something. Um, our women are not. Okay, I'm here. Okay, let me see. Give me 1 second. B1, everybody. A shout out to Tariq and other folks. Um, um, a shout out to all the people, Judge Joe Brown and others who are warning black people to stay out of the squabbles of the other people.
Greetings, Brother Charles. Greetings, Brother Mike.
Right.
Dr. Short, you up in the house?
Yes, I'm up in the house, Brother Darren. So
all right.
Let's go
get
for
the
it.
Intro out the way, and then we're coming right in. All right.
Okay, very good.
All right. Are you able to hear?
I hear you. Yeah, I hear Michael Jackson. Thank you very much. Sir. This is Michael Jackson. Thank you, Brother Darren, for keeping my memory alive. I really appreciate it. It's very wonderful.
Always, my brother.
Okay,
Always.
okay.
You say he's so cool?
Yeah, so I'm funny. Good. I'm good.
Yeah, Mina said that's so funny.
Yeah, no, that's... So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight, guys.
Right. Yeah, because ACB is going to be as easy as ABC when this goes to the Supreme Court.
Well, let me just say to you that...
we got some brothers and sisters coming on in. Got Queen Cheryl, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah,
who else we got? Brother Charles, Sister Ruth, thank you for tuning in, Queen. Let me check that YouTube. Got some brothers and sisters coming in on the YouTube channel. Not yet. I know they're coming in though.
Yeah, they're coming. They're coming. And I'm trying to figure out how to get this Instagram camera on. I had it 1 second.
You had it up and on?
Okay, new video chat. You know what?
Kevin, thank you for tuning in, my brother. Who else we got?
Okay.
Brother Nick Brooks and Brother Gerald, thank you for tuning in. Sister Kim, thank you for tuning in.
This is Black Independence. We make our own news, right?
Absolutely. That's what we got to do, bro. As my brother Chairman Fred said, we making history, taking history, and definitely ain't faking history up in here tonight. Queen Sister Sunshine, pronounced peace to you, Queen. Thank you for tuning in.
This is incredible.
Brother Timothy Rogers, peace, brother Timothy, tuning in. Appreciate you, brother. Give greetings to the Queen now.
Okay, let me see. What should I do?
Robert, thank you for tuning in. Brother James, thank you for tuning in, my brother. Peace to you and the family. Get a greetings to the young brother for me. I know he tuned in if you tuned in.
Yes.
Who else we got? Brother Joe, shalom, my brother. Thank you for tuning in. Queen Libby, thank you for tuning in. Libby Love, can't get no more better than that. Brother Mike Brown, what's up, my brother? Who else we got coming up in here? Queen Dana and Lorraine, thank you for tuning in.
Now, everybody, Roderick Thompson. Oh, my.
Roderick coming up on here?
Okay, yes, a shout out to everybody. And Brother Darren, I don't know. I think somebody knows who I am. I can't believe it. When I come home, the only person who knows me is my cat, Selfish. And Selfish will forget you when it's mealtime across the street. So that...
Absolutely. Peace, family, too, to the State of the City special Monday edition on this Monday, November the 9th, 2020. Do yourselves a favor, call your family, call your friends, call your kith and kin, call those that got your complexion, those that have your divine connection, those that trying to have some understanding about the elections, the rejections, and all that we saw within the last week, because we're going to definitely get back into that tonight to talk about the 2020 presidential election, but also the national election, because there are a lot of blacks that made history that's not being talked about around by the mainstream fake news media that were elected to positions across this country. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the black turnout. And, of course, now what is taking place, we're going to get into and have a conversation.
We're going to get into it.
With, of course, my brother and friend, Dr. Randy Short. So let me get a couple of thank yous out of the way, gratitudes out of the way, and have a positive attitude, because your attitude is going to determine your altitude. So you tune to the State of the City. I want to start off by dedicating the show to my brother and friend, Brother Eric Easton, and to all of those who made it through the week in the city, the state, this country, and on the planet. And, of course, to all the independent alternative media that have been standing strong in 2016, predicted and saw what we're looking at today, and still have it right today in 2020. We dedicate the show to you. Want to thank, of course, my executive producer, Princess Asada, for making sure that we're coming in and you're able to see and to hear us as well. And got to thank my other executive producer, Princess Amina, who handles our Instagram. So we're streaming on Facebook. Our Facebook is Darren Muhammad, D-A-R-E-N, Muhammad, M-U-H-A-M-M-A-D. Spell it right, get it right, and they're going to have us what?
Locked in your site.
Locked in the site. And of course, we're on YouTube streaming at State of the City, all one word, lowercase letters, State of the City. And our Instagram over there is what again? State of the City, Baltimore. So we're streaming on those platforms. And of course, we're going to talk about and get into how you can support the show through our Cash App, also through our PayPal. But let me just quickly get up and bring up who's on Facebook as we're streaming on Facebook. I'm on half screen. He's on the other screen. And we, of course, did a test about 30 minutes ago to make sure that we were up live. So I want to thank him for taking time out of his busy schedule.
Oh, the pleasure's mine. The pleasure's mine.
On the State of the City, my brother and friend, Brother Dr. Randy Short. So peace to you, my brother, and welcome back to the special edition of the State of the City.
God bless you, my brother. God bless Baltimore. My number 2 city, home away from home. And so keep standing there and with your new mayor and all the other things.
You say you got Lightfoot out there in Chicago. We got a Lightfoot in Baltimore. And that's Lightfoot in many ways.
Well, maybe light draws, but that's a whole nother. I didn't say that.
Right.
I forget I said that.
So before we get started, Doc, let's give your contact information where you can be reached, and also talk about your YouTube channel as we're getting started, because I know you have a certain number of subscribers. I want to make sure we get you more subscribers.
Right.
I want to get more subscribers, how they can hit, how they can like, how they can subscribe to your channel, and then how they can support you. So if you would, let's put your contact information out there.
Well, Brother Darren, my YouTube channel is Randy Short. I need about 70 more subscribers so I can go live whenever I want to. I'm 900 something. Everybody, if they would just went in and put that in there, that would help me do a lot more than what I've been doing, because we have to intensify our struggle. That's one. My Instagram is Randy Short 1965. My Patreon is Dr. Randy Short 1965. My Twitter is DRS1 1965. Dr. Randy Short 1965. My Facebooks, Randy Short. One of them I'm in jail, and then there's Randy Lancaster Short. That one's free. I also, of course, I have a Randy Lancaster Short YouTube channel. It's my backup channel. And last but not least, you can also Cash App me, which is Dr. D-R-R-E-N-D-Y-S-H-O-R-T. Dr. Randy Short, one word, is a Cash App. These microphones and all that I have, yes, they were paid for by donation. So, I didn't go out and spend it on white women. I have 2 microphones that I bought, and I'm going to buy some more stuff. In fact, I have a green screen. I just need a frame. So each time people bless me, hey, Sister Latoya LaCapra Kelly of the Salt Ministries, one of the favorite people in the world. And last but not least, my PayPal is wrandyshort@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
And so you can reach me, and serious people who have a serious issue and they're willing to listen to what I tell them, they can contact me. If they do retarded stuff, don't. Like I had a person, they're facing eviction, all this other kind of stuff, and they want me to help them, and they live like across the country. Doesn't that sound kind of crazy? So, and then they sent me a whole bunch of things. I said, put to me in writing. I didn't say when I get to it. Then it says, when are you going to help me about my situation? I'm thinking, you're going to need a lawyer. You're going to need a lawyer no matter what I can do for you. I'm not an attorney. I have to try to figure out who I know who does legal stuff 3,500 miles from where I live, and who would help your broke ass for free. You paid someone. You paid someone. So, and by the way, you're asking me to work for you for free. Don't do that with me. From here on out, if you call me, have some sort of donation. You don't have to give it to me. You can give it to Salt Ministries. I think, Sister Latoya, if you can, post what our SALT ministry, because I have a ministry. It stands for Salvation
Yes.
and Liberation Temple. And that's our
Okay.
first. This is an LLC. The next step will be we will have a not-for-profit, and our goal will be to fight against hunger, to fight against oppression of our people. I'm a Christian, but I'm not a punk ass white
Yes.
Jesus Christian. I never understood them.
Come on.
The kind that set souls to the
Right.
poles. That's like souls to the
Yes.
hulls of the slave ship. I'm not for that. So
Mhm.
that's how you can reach me. And
Yes.
if people send something very intelligent or serious or whatever, I
Come
normally
on,
give them
brother.
my phone number. But just you wouldn't believe the whack jobs, the games that people do. Like,
Right.
hey man,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna send you some help, and they don't really want to do that. They want to talk to you for 50 hours
Right.
and consume your
Yes,
time.
sir.
Dag,
Right.
I know folks who don't know me who will send me 20. Not that 20 does a lot, but believe it or not, 20 would be enough for me to buy some blueberry bush. Believe it or not, samplings, because we want to do
Yes,
agricultural
sir.
stuff. And
That's right. Support.
I just came back from Kentucky visiting black
Right.
farms. I just found out the lady I work with that we found a new black rancher that grows
Mhm.
non-hormonal beef. I'm thinking
Mhm.
from doing what I used to do, Brother Darren, when you met me, to complaining about the
Yes, sir.
situation that hurts us
That's
to
right.
solving the problem. If you want to give to the ministry, and we meet on Saturday, we've been meeting for 2 years. You can call in if you're a serious Christian that believes in black liberation. And no,
Come on, brother.
I'm not going to affirm you if you're married to a man and you're a dude. If you're a woman and you want to rub fur on another woman, that's your life. That's between you,
Right.
God, your gynecologist, and the gates of hell. That's your choice. But
That's right.
Salt Ministry, it's Salt Ministry DC at gmail.com is the PayPal for our LLC. And that does
Okay.
not go into my pocket. Now, if you send it to Randy Short, it will go to me. If you send it to
Yes, sir.
Salt Ministry DC at
Right.
gmail.com, and why should you do it? Because this Sister Latoya, who is the chief operating officer of our fellowship, I just got back in town. Once I feel a little better, we got to go to war with the mayor of DC because they want to vaccinate our black children without
Right.
without parental consent. I even
Parental
got an
consent. That's right.
invitation for $315 a day to be experimented on for COVID. I don't need
Come
it
on.
that badly. We're going to fight
Yes, sir.
this. Last year, a
Come on.
handful of us, no more than 6 folks in my fellowship, helped defeat
Mhm.
prostitution being legalized in DC. Just 6.
That's right.
Trust me, I
That's right.
cried and said, God, why just us? I
Right.
haven't even been blessed with kids, and I don't want anyone's kids to be prostitutes. I don't want anybody, and I need to tell you this, that
Come on.
vaccine has an additive that causes paralysis
That's right.
and death. They're going to kill our children because they haven't had a lot of, they can't, well, first of all, nobody white's going to give their children to be experimented on. So what they're going to
Nope.
do is get these white teachers who they filled the schools with, and they're going to pick out the black kids to be injected and bully them with it.
That's
Oh,
right.
yes, they will do it, and they will kill these children. They
Right.
will paralyze these children. I am 55 years old. 55 years ago, when my mother was carrying me, they were trying to get my mother to take a drug called thalidomide that was making people be grown
Mhm.
without arms, without limbs,
Right.
or the babies were born
Right.
dead. A little racist ass
Right.
doctor was trying to kill me before I even could walk around. If they were doing it
Mhm.
55 years ago, knowing, and many of the doctors
That's
that
right.
developed thalidomide are connected to the Nazi doctors that used to experiment on Jewish children in Europe, that nearly happened to me if my mother hadn't been a weak black woman. My mother's strong.
Right.
We got a lot of weak women, weak mothers, weak, sorry ass dudes that think dropping a seed, not taking care of
Mhm.
the plant that results from the seed, makes them a
Right.
man. So we have
That's right.
millions of black children at risk. You won't hear any of these black churches. You might hear
Come on, brother.
Farrakhan. Aside from Farrakhan, who's a Muslim, you won't hear
Right.
anybody that calls themselves any remote way a Christian with any kind of stature saying no to the vaccination where you're looking at one. So
Right.
if you drop me
That's right.
a
Thank you.
piece, I can assure you, as we talk to Sister Jada Rendell, we're gonna fight this mayor over this. It's called what's that bill called? It's called B something. B 21 B230171. B230171. This is what these coon, lesbo, dyke, sellout, traitor, white sodomite supremacists want to do. And it's not just DC. They're trying to do it up in Newark. They want to do this all over. They want to kill us. They will kill us. And the same people that many of us voted for are going to give a pathway to citizenship to people who had children in this country illegally. They get DACA and citizenship, and we get death. So I want to say to you, and it's round two, Joe Biden, if he becomes president, I want to remind everybody in 2019, Salt Ministry coordinated the first protest against the Gay Equality Act starting in 2018. We were on it. I know you remember, Brother Darren.
We're gonna get it, but take a minute for those that may not know, because they hear you say equality, right? And they really think that they're talking about some equality in terms of all Americans.
No.
Take a minute to talk about
these people.
Equality Act and what's in it.
Let me make it more simple. They want you to think that a vagina is equal to an anus. Okay, if they were equal, they'd make the same things, I would suspect, but they don't. The Gay Equality Act is an effort to fulfill what Harvey Milk, who was friends with Jim Jones, who massacred Black men, women, and babies down in South America. They decided in the Mattachine Society that they would hijack the Black movement. A guy by the name of Harry Hay, the father of NAMBLA, the father of the communists embracing gay.
What's NAMBLA, for those who don't know what NAMBLA
National Association for Man-Boy Love, based in Baltimore covertly. All of this sexual perversion, which will hit Black people first. Why? Because they own us. We're not free. We become the first people to be hurt, experimented on, destroyed. 1 in 9 Black children are in foster care. They'll be the low-hanging fruit to be pimped out, raped out, penises cut off, breasts cut off. This is what Biden has already said. Why can't a child want their breasts or their penis cut off? Spoken like a true pedophile that he is. The Gay Equality Act would make all sodomites a protected national grouping, which means if you have a bank and I got boobs and I'm a dude, you better give me a loan or the feds will come after you. Necrophilia will be. So if I have a funeral parlor, a lot of Black folks own funeral parlors. If I want to come and have sex with the dead, you better let me do it, because that's my gender expression. If I want to have sex with children, you can't prosecute me. The Gay Equality Act says there's certain crimes based on people's proclivities that they can't be prosecuted for. So if I'm a rapist, if I'm a booty bandit, if I want to have sex with the dead, I want to dig up your granny and knock her boots, I have a right to do it because I'm a sexual minority and I'm equal. You wanting to have a hamburger because you're Black and you're hungry is equal to me wanting to eat bowel movement of a baby in a public school. And you don't like me. You hate me. In fact, me killing you, as cops kill Blacks every day, is seen as they deserved it. However, if you don't like a person that has bowel movement on their mustache and they're your supervisor, you're a racist. It couldn't possibly be you don't want to get dookie spray in your eyes or in your nose or in your mouth, right? This is what they've done. And by the way, the entire civil rights establishment, Al Sharpton, the National Asshole Network, the Urban League, the NAACP, the Congressional Black Caucus, the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists, the Leadership Conference for Civil and Human Rights, every major Black fraternity and sorority, and every major Black church denomination, with the exception of the Church of God in Christ, whose gay presiding bishop who's stepping down. They all support the Gay Equality Act, the National Council of Churches. There's if they pass this, and this is a conversation I had with your brother, Darren, Akbar Muhammad, you guys in the nation should speak up. This is, do you realize I could come in with boobs, with my behind hanging out in chaps? I could come into Mosque Miriam, and if the Gay Equality Act passes, you better not touch me. How many white guys who've been turned on by seeing the fruit of Islam saying, I'd like to taste some of the bananas?
They wanted to be the fruity of Islam.
Right. The fruity booty of Islam. Then
right.
you guys are going to have to, you can't coexist. This is what they want for us. This is why Biden got so many billions of dollars. Soros is a deviant. All of these people, Gates is a deviant. They were with Epstein at the island. These Bezos, well, I call him Pedo. His name is so close to what he is. These people are nasty.
What's the one on the West Coast? What's the guy?
Ed Buckner, the Jewish man that executes, the Jewish sodomite who kills black gay tricks who think whites are their allies, right? Maxine Waters didn't say nothing about it. Karen Bass, the congresswoman who's head of the Congressional Black Caucus, it looks like Uncle Fester, right? She didn't say anything. Nancy Pelosi knows him and didn't say anything. Nancy Pelosi's brother Roosevelt, D'Alessandro, gang raped, I believe, two black girls in 1953, and nobody got convicted. 14 guys ran trains on babies in Baltimore, and Nancy Pelosi came of age of her father, the mayor, Thomas D'Alessandro Sr., protecting his son for gang raping little girls. That's how Nancy Pelosi grew up. Nancy Pelosi worked with Congressman Burton, who was a chief ally of pedophile, communist, racist, rapist Jim Jones. And who else worked with Jim Jones? Maxine Waters. Yes, she did, under Congressman Damali. And not only them, I have to say, who else did it? Barbara Lee did too. And Feinstein did too. Barbara Boxer did too. And Willie Brown was a very close. Kamala Harris's side piece manager was very close to Jim Jones. Yeah, he groomed her. I mean, I don't know if you can groom her.
Intro with Dr. Randy Short. That ain't even the show. That's our intro right now.
All in San Francisco. All in San Francisco. I think I got my book. I got my Cult City book. No, I don't have it. It's all in San Francisco. It's these degenerate California Democrats that run the black community as slaves. We are enslaved to them. We're enslaved to them, and we've been re-enslaved. Donald Trump, bigoted. You can say whatever you want. Central Park. I'm right there. When I talked to Roger Stone and Dr. Jerome Corsi, I criticized the Central Park thing. They agree with me. Trump's friends want him to apologize. That's some arrogant type A white male thing, and he's wrong. Okay, it's interesting that I'll criticize Donald Trump and I support Trump. I can never get black people who support Biden to see anything wrong with them. This thing, the Democratic Party is a suicide cult, and black folks are mixing the Kool-Aid. They don't even want sugar in it.
That's Jim Jones 2.0, brother. And
absolutely.
When the dust settle, they might have a Jim Jones moment. Which will come down to
and you know what? Which number of adults died in greater numbers based on gender at Jonestown? Do you know, Brother Darren? Black women. Disproportionately, black women took their babies down there and got their babies killed. Very few black men went. Black women, y'all are stupid. Y'all going for the okie doke. They're masturbating you. They're tricking you. And they went down to Jonestown. In fact, there was a big, loudmouth, fat, big bosom sister who was supposedly the leader of black people. And those white folks led her to believe that they saw her as an equal and she was powerful and she was strong. And when she says, don't kill the babies, they killed the black woman with the fat mouth first. They killed her first, dumb black women. They tell you, you have no power without your men. Your men have no power without you. Okay.
We're going to talk about that one.
And look at that big fat Stacey Abrams looking like Beetlejuice with a carbohydrates digestion dysfunction. They're putting up this woman. She hasn't won anything except for maybe she's been the biggest judge for Betty Crocker of all times history. Her award is in the mail, even if there's no stamp on it.
Biggest recipients of the Emily List money.
Absolutely. The kill babies. support mass incarceration, push LGBTQ, be against black men, support illegal immigration. This is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and then throw her up and say she's one of your Soros sisters, so therefore you should support her, right? So,
Yeah.
So that's the other part they use.
Yeah,
right?
it's absolutely crazy.
Again, let's get into this and slow walk it, because again, looking at history before we get into what we saw last Tuesday, 2016, because this election was almost a redo of 2016 for the most part.
It was better than 2016. Trump picked up Asian, Latino, black, and white male support. Donald Trump got 58% of the white male vote and 55% of the white female vote. It didn't change. He had the same support. What went crazy is a minimum of 18%, because that based on exit polls, basically double-digit black support for him, almost double-digit for black women. Latinos went up. Donald Trump has had the greatest coalition of voters behind him of any president since Roosevelt in 1932 when he pulled that thing off. This is why they're freaking. Donald Trump has created a new coalition that's black, Hispanic, it's Asian, it's everything, and we're against the globalist people, and we're the majority. They had to steal this election. They had to steal it, and it's true. Donald Trump did not deliver infrastructure. Donald Trump has a lot of shithead people around him that give him bad advice. However, Donald Trump went out of the way to make an express, I have an interest in what happens for black people. Even if he's like a broke ass black father with a bad job who wants you to have a nice Christmas, he tells you about the train set he wants to get you. The other side won't even talk about the train set. They just say, sit the hell down and shut the hell up. That's all we get from the Democrats. At least he said it. The black colleges, the platinum plan, whether he delivered it or not, it was in his mouth. Not people of color, black people, us, ADOS, B1, Foundational Black American, ADOS, whatever the hell you call us. It was about us. Repairing the city is about us. Sending the other people back was for weak working class grassroots black men and women to get jobs. In Chicago, I just saw something. My friend sent me, there was a bakery, and the bakery was full. The majority of the people in the bakery were Hispanics in the country working illegally. When ICE came through there and cleaned it out, the blacks went up from 15% to 90% of the workers. That's all those black folks with jobs in their own country. Why? The Criminal Justice Reform Act, first and foremost, not since, no, in this century, in last century altogether, there's never been anyone to make any attempt to do anything for black people incarcerated in the history of this country prior to, that succeeded prior to Donald Trump. It's just a fact. Fact. And Donald Trump skewed the people who'd benefit, where at one point, 92% of the people being sent home from jail were black. You tell me a program where black folks get 10% of anything, below our population rate. This was way above it. Donald Trump wanted black men out. Donald Trump worked on this. That he isn't supported by everyone around him, because there are people who benefit from this illegal migration into this country. And they do want to punish black people because we want to get paid what white people want to get paid. So they would rather bring in people who they can give less to.
That's right.
Criminal justice reform has saved thousands of black folk would have died of COVID in jails. Who tried to get them out? Who got Kwame Kirkpatrick out? Obama and them could have let Kwame Kirkpatrick out. He may be a dirtbag, but he's our black dirtbag. We want all of our folk out that don't need, that aren't crazy, Freddy Krueger type black folks. Kwame Kilpatrick, I'm sorry. Kilpatrick. And other people. And more is happening. Why can't we acknowledge it? And I want to say to anybody, brother Darren, you've lived in Delaware. I visited Delaware. Blacks in Delaware are about the poorest in the country. They're worse off than blacks in Mississippi. And yet nobody hears who's been in power 50 years. Who was the most racist politician? You know, I don't use my first name, Brother Darren. People know my first name is not Randy. I don't use my first name because of a certain politician. This politician, who is the most notorious racist politician of the 20th century, said that he had one politician in Congress that he admired and he looked up to. The most racist politician of last century said that Joe Biden was his idol. And we voted for him. I'm just trying to think, if I went and said to a Jew that Hitler was my idol, nobody would, I mean, I'd be done. Why are we so stupid? In fact, let me rephrase this. Why are 91% of black women so stupid? And we got to have this conversation. Sisters are off code. We got to have that. You know, I was sharing with them my dream, Brother Darren. I'm putting this out today, and I pray. I have dreams. You know, I tell you, give you predictions. Don't you know they happen too? You've been following me for a while. 2 years ago, I had a nightmare about black women, some sorority women, going on a trip with no men, and a group of white racial terrorists murdered all the black. They murdered all the black women and buried the car. And they proceeded to kill other black women that traveled alone. And then eventually they began attacking people at exclusive beaches where these Boule people gather. And it eventually gets out. And two things happen. The white folks were reluctant to criticize these people who murdered them. And then these Boule people were screaming racism and injustice and expecting the other blacks who they've shitted on to be out there for them when they haven't been here for us since 1904. And what ended up happening is a whole bunch of these Boule people were shocked that black folks didn't care about them. And in particular, that all these black women were yelling and screaming about how indifferent people were to them. And some folks said to them, hey, sister, y'all been indifferent to the mass incarceration of black men. Y'all been in why do you require so much support when you haven't been there for us and y'all have been in the positions? And I woke up from my dream. I didn't understand why would anybody want to just randomly kill black women who are traveling alone. But now that I see that the Democrats are systematically making black women the face of the people who destroyed Trump and his movement. And I'm just telling y'all, y'all don't understand me. These people will attack. They're not like black men. You know, a black man probably, he could kill his girlfriend or his wife, but if it was just some woman halfway presentable, he'd be thinking about what kind of sex he could have instead of hurting them. White guys who are what you call eye cells, what's that thing where they can't find nobody and nobody will sleep with them. These eye cells will kill anyone. They will shoot these sisters. Black women are headed on thin ice. They need black men's protection. Part of why you're not protected, some of you, is that it's incels. Thank you. Incels. Thank you, Siobhan James. I need black women. Even if they're not intimate physical, without black women, I wouldn't be here. Okay. Going back to my grandmother, who was a Seminole Indian that was sold into slavery. She knew how to kill babies. She had the babies. I'm here because a black woman decided not to get an abortion back in the 1840s. She could have killed the baby. She knew that she had been free. She knew that she didn't want to be a slave. She didn't want this white dude on her. I get her, but she said, my children are going to live. I'm here now. I always tell people I'm against abortion. Had abortion existed for my foremothers who were raped and abused, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have a fighting chance. Abortion means that there won't be a generation to resist, to fight for the reparations and everything else that we do, and then some. And that's, by the way, look at Joe Biden. He's going to push to open up the part of the executive orders that he wants to overturn will be to give money to reopen 900 abortion clinics. If those 900 abortion clinics were reopened when they were in operation, if they did 1,000 abortions a year, and that's a low number, that's about 3 a day. You know, it's more than that. They're killing 1 million babies a year. Black folks get about a third of the abortions in the country. That means Donald Trump has saved 300,000 Black babies' lives. You show me a Democrat. In fact, you show me a Black pastor, a Black pork chop feminist. You show me a civil rights leader. You show me one of these Black feminist icons that saved hundreds of thousands of Black babies. You can't.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely. Again, family, just tuning in, having a conversation, of course. Special edition State of the City with Brother Dr. Randy Short. That's real because while we're going to get into Corona, but while we've seen the shutdown, many our schools and institutions that our people need to shut down, but the abortion clinics were allowed to stay open. All the
kill them babies.
Strip joints were allowed to stay open.
Liquor stores,
allowed to stay open.
Strip joints, everything, right? And y'all almost had a stripper. You almost had a stripper make it into Congress in Baltimore.
Almost might have been better than the pimp we got that's going back down there.
Oh,
we don't
my
have no other city or state where they went back and got an old washed up politician, right? A pimp from 20 years ago and ran them for office, right? So what was in terms of looking at the balance, we would rather take somebody that could possibly make a change than somebody who we know was down there and co-signed with Joe Biden's HR 3355 mass incarceration bill.
Sure he did.
Now, he's rewarded, and Black women came out and voted for him rather than vote for
Well, they voted for his wife. They voted for his wife, who looks like a dark Dick Van Dyke.
Whose wife was this you talking about?
You know who I'm talking about. Laugh, just laugh.
Right.
You know it's true. And I'm so glad they saw that dude down in South Carolina. By the way, I really like some of the down ballot races, like the woman that looked like a Jim. Well, first of all, the election was stolen. I put out my map of the election several weeks ago. I think I said it to you, Brother Darren. And these people who are using this Dominion software system, they mess with it because he won. Donald Trump won. Right. Now, what you need to know is that the Democrats are just boasting that there was going to be a screw wave instead of a blue wave because it screws us, right? A screw wave. Let me tell you what happened. The Democrats lost seats in the House. There was a reaction to their insanity. And frankly, I think they stole Ilhan Omar's seat. That was after they assassinated one of the campaign workers that was working for the opposition to Ilhan Omar. They just drove up and shot these 2 Black men. One of them was killed. Nobody's been found. Nobody knows who did it. Oh, it wasn't politically motivated. Okay, if you saw a Black Hawk Down, you know how Somalis get down. Okay, that's one. That's right. She won, but I'll tell you, there's a Black woman that looks like a shoe brush. Her name is Underwood from the 14th District of Illinois. She does. She looks like a shoe brush. I mean, man, I could get a big turn her upside down, just polish, Paul Bunyan shoes. So Underwood, yes. And I call it no good. Okay. No good, lost. And there are a bunch of them. They're losing. The Republicans have picked up seats because yes, in the House of Representatives. So they may still have the lead, but they're looking like they're going to get rid of funky Nancy Pelosi because she failed. She failed. AOC, I don't know how she won, but the Democrats, how do you have the president lose all these states? Right. But down ballot, the Republicans ate the Democrats alive. Somebody help me. I'm a reasonable person. I could accept Trump losing, but let me tell you something. Joe Biden, he couldn't get a crowd if he had cocaine and strippers. He's that boring. Okay. He's boring. If you think Joe Biden won, you think the Little Mermaid wants to screw King Kong. I can tell you she don't. It's too much for her. All right. Believe that, right? Okay. So look, down ballot, the Democrats lost. The up ballot, They won only after Donald Trump looked like he had a landslide. Remember, they says, well, man, we're going to stop. Then all of a sudden they flipped it around. When you look at a state like Michigan that has a strong Republican presence, right? Michigan, and they show up with 138,000 votes for just Biden. I mean, this isn't the Soviet Union. This is America. You mean not one person supported Trump out of 138? That's statistically impossible in a state where, even though they say he was 10 points behind or 14 points behind, I think it was 7. If he was 7 points behind, had they brought 140,000 votes, Biden would have gotten about 75 to 80,000 votes, and all the rest would have gone to Trump, and he still would have been ahead.
That's right.
I mean, Virginia was called for Biden with 1% of the votes. They couldn't call a state with 90%, 95% of the vote in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada, all these states, Georgia, when it favored Trump, they could not call it. They waited, and I believe they've been adding votes to try to mix it. You know, I was making a pie the other day, and the pie wasn't right. I had to keep adding stuff until I got the flavor I wanted. Otherwise, the pie would have been nasty to me. They kept adding the votes. In Pennsylvania alone, there are at least 21,000 dead people that vote actively. If you took the 21,000,
one of them that voted was Joe. One of them was the former
Smoking Joe Frazier. So,
Frazier been dead since 2011.
Right. If they took the 21,000 dead people away, Trump is a winner in Pennsylvania. If they look into the 138,000 ballots casted at 3 a.m. when all the poll workers are gone, I'm a poll worker here in Washington, D.C. If you want, I can show you my poll papers. You can't do voting when the place it's supposed to be secure. That all these irregularities point to them stealing the election. By the way, in Milwaukee, where black people, in particular black men, thank you. I'm gonna give a Wakanda. Black men in 2016 voted 30% for Donald Trump in Milwaukee. This is one of the reasons that they had the Democratic convention up there. They wanted it up there, was they had to figure out what to do in the Midwest with restive black voters who could throw elections. 30% in 2016. What do you think they're going to get now?
2020. That's right.
So they went in, and so for the district that Milwaukee is in, the voter turnout rate was 90%. 90% for that count. 90%.
Come on.
Now understand, I don't believe it was 90%. If it was 70%, that would have been phenomenal. It was probably 65%, but 90%. That means they added enough votes to offset, in particular, the black people who wouldn't vote for Biden. Okay, yes, because most people don't know that states like Minnesota and Wisconsin have some of the highest rates of black male incarceration in the country. Those people are going to vote for Trump to give a finger to Biden, who locked them up. Virginia has the largest number of black men, the largest percentage-wise number of black men disenfranchised. Somewhere between 500,000 to 600,000 black men can't vote in Virginia.
And Maryland. A lot of people don't talk about Maryland.
And Delaware. In fact, so I'm looking at this and I'm saying to you, why did they let thousands of people vote absentee who had moved out of the state of Nevada? And why is the SEIU, a democratically aligned union, responsible for doing the count and the recount of the votes in Nevada? Why is that? How do they call the election for Biden in California, Washington, and Oregon when just 1% of the vote is counted? I mean, I've never seen anything where 1%. I mean, I could see 51%, 70%. Okay, I could go with every number except for under, say,
Come on, Billy.
50%. If that person just knocked things out at 50%, there was no way to catch up. I would say, well done. Call the race.
Right.
But not off
That's
1%.
right.
Not off 1%.
Right.
And by the way, they're using the images of black people dancing in the street. I want to warn y'all.
Yes.
I worked for the
Talk about
media
that.
26, no, 30 some odd years ago. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, let me see. Hold on. Almost 26 years ago, I was working for the NewsHour with Jim Lehrer when the O.J. Simpson trial was going on. And they went around looking to find black people celebrating O.J. Simpson being winning. And they put that image out that black people were for OJ and for white women being killed and black folks getting off. We're still paying for it. Our folks don't understand that perception is reality. Their perception is, I was working the day that OJ got acquitted. I left the job for 4 hours. Nobody missed me. They were that angry. They didn't even notice. I mean, you're not supposed to be gone from a job 4 hours. I needed to get out of it. They were so angry. They were looking, trying to see if I was smiling or happy so they could come for me over this. I don't like OJ.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to that. I'm gonna digress off of that point, and we're gonna come back to the image of them showing black people out there dancing. The biggest story that broke on that day that the O.J. Simpson verdict was read was from
Howard
O'Leary, the energy secretary, right? And she had the press conference with Clinton apologizing to the American people about the United States government experimenting on the American people.
Right.
And Ellen Wilson wrote about it in the book entitled The Plutonium Files. So I bring that up because that's going to tie back into the COVID as you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Most American people never knew that took place on October the 3rd, 1995, because the nation's attention was focused on O.J. Simpson.
And where did they have the people celebrating and cheering for O.J.? Howard University Law School. Howard University Law School, just about 4 years later, had an anthrax attack from the CIA.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I live in D.C. in the Eckington section. My postal office is the Brentwood transfer station where the other anthrax attack was, where the black people got sick. My mother, who is upstairs, was on the 3rd floor of the A building at Howard University, where the other anthrax attack took place. The anthrax killed at least two black men at the post office where my mailbox for Salt Ministries is. And it killed a woman by the name of Mrs. Mason at Howard University's post office, who I knew since I was a child. We were dancing, and you don't understand, the same way black people can't forgive each other over hair and skin and complexion and eye color and so forth. Yet we always talk about this forgiveness when a white mass killer can go into a sanctuary and just blow away a whole bunch of black folks. The way that we don't forgive one another, and the way that we're really not forgiving white people, what we really want to say, please, Mr. Nazi or racist, please like me. I know I'm ugly, black, and contemptible, but please like me. Okay. The same way that we pretend that we can forgive and we don't, same way Caribbeans have a beef with black Americans and all this other kind of garbage, white folks don't forgive nothing.
That's right.
If they forget nothing, I'm telling you, they're not going to forgive black people celebrating the communists taking over the country. In fact, they're going to link the big overweight black women who are heavy with cellulite and big booties, right? They're going to link them to Black Lives Matter and Antifa, burning everything up, and they're going to say, look at the black people. They knocked our monuments down, they burnt our cities, and now they dance when our election was stolen. The traitors to America are blacks.
That's right.
And I'm not saying
Black Lives Matters.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter is sending out letters right now trying to use what they perceived as Trump's defeat, telling people we defeated Trump.
Hey,
now you should support Black Lives Matter even more. In fact,
and
the only blue wave we saw with this group called Act Blue. That's the only blue wave we've seen over the past year.
Act Blue gave billions of dollars. Act Blue gave billions of dollars to Democratic racists unlawfully through Black Lives Matter, which does not have the tax status to collect monies for political activities. And anybody white that can halfway read that, whether they put it on the news with Don Lemon sitting on a sex toy or whatever, it doesn't make a difference. That people who can read, who know that Act Blue, that's where the money for Black Lives Matter went, meant that people who gave money, listen to this, people who gave money to improve the racial situation got hoodwinked by people who took that money to destroy their constitutional democracy. And so when you come and you ask for reparations, they're going to say, why? So you can give it to the Chinese to come after us? Yes, they will make this false syllogism and say, I gave to Black Lives Matter. And they burned things and they tore up things. And then they stole the election. And then they danced when people came out and said the irregularities that anyone could see. I mean, who are you people? Right? This is the kind of, I grew up with very real white people, and I thank God for them because I get how they see it. So the way that it looks, Black people got with the communists. And this is a long-standing idea that the communists would use race and racism and the frustration of Blacks to become communists to bring the whole system down. And this is what Black Lives Saul Alinsky and all these other people is to use the misery of Black people to destroy the system. So now people who are anti-communists are going to want to come after all Black people as a collective. And this is what these dumbass Black women have done. They've set us all up to be killed. And we already had a problem. We were already hated.
When you're talking about that, you're not talking about all Black women.
No, we're talking about these. We're talking about these.
We're talking about the ones that following Black Lives Matter.
Yes, and the Boule coons, the pork chop feminists. It's not my mom. It's not the good sisters. That's not what we're talking about. Isn't it interesting? When sisters go in on Black men, they don't have to qualify. We know that they're talked about rotten ass. When we speak, we have to make, it says that we don't have equality and power. So if you think I thought all Black women were bad or whatever, you shouldn't listen to anything I'm saying. You should just hang up and, go smoke a blunt or whatever it is that you need to do. But I'm talking,
let it fly, keep it moving.
Right, keep it moving. These people have been used and they have been doing this. Black women voters, like that dude, Doug Jones, the one that looked like Chris Van Patten from 8 is Enough. Remember? And his wife looked like she had like an avocado Adam's apple in her neck. I put the pictures up. His wife did. She did look like she had a big Adam's apple. I mean, a big one like the size of my fist. Van
Jones, be on TV crime.
No. I'm talking about Doug Jones, Scam Jones. That's another situation. We just know how he cries when his boyfriend hit it. Look. Right. Okay. I mean, so look, just when that race happened in Alabama, it's something like 97% of Black women voted for Doug Jones, who I call Thug Jones. And it was 96% of Black men that voted for Doug Jones. When they talked about the race, they only mentioned Black women voters. And I was thinking, wait a minute.
That's right.
If I'm a teacher and you get 96% right, that's an A. 95 is an A too. It's just not 96. And I want to say this to all the sisters listening. Y'all need to stop letting them divide Black men and Black women to say something. If more Black women says, fuck that shit, I don't want to hear it. Don't say Black people. Let me tell you, I was taught this at Harvard by the brainwashed feminists. When I would say Black people, they would attack me for not saying Black women. And I always thought when I said Black people, I was talking about everybody. And to them, no. When you say Black people, you're talking about Black men. When you say Black men and women, then you've discussed Black people as if we're separate races. These, in fact, let me pull out my book here. All I need to see After Mecca. And it talks about the lesbians and all the stuff and how the CIA and all these people funded all this confusion among Black women. There's nobody giving money to Black men. If we have some jackass, asshole Black men that are abusive towards women, they learned that from Iceberg Slim. No one's going to give them a foundation. No one's going to give them some writer's circle. Black men are not helped to be against Black women. Black women have to ask, why when I go into a place, there are no men there? You mean you've never met one Black man smart? Never. No
Come on,
black
brother.
men are smart. Not your daddy, not your uncle. Nobody. All black men are
Come on.
stupid. Do you realize that's an
Come on, brother.
inversion of all women being stupid and women didn't need to be educated? Have you now become what you've beheld? You're so busy fighting for what you perceive as
Yes, that's right.
oppression based on sex that you
Right.
become the sexist by not saying
Mm,
anything, by not doing anything, by not saying, hey, Doug Jones, y'all need to honor the black men that voted for you. Hey, CNN,
that's right.
Don Lemon, you're a effeminate white boy humping self. You need to honor black men.
Right.
Okay, Rachel
Right.
Maddow, you little Harry Winkler, Fonzie, happy day looking self. How come you never say anything about black men? Black women have to
That's right.
become advocates for black men, and black men must be advocates for black women. Latino women
Right. Come on.
advocate for Latino
For them
men.
men.
Asian
Right.
women advocate for their men. Jewish women
That's right.
advocate for their men. Um, White women are for white men. Everybody's for their men except
Mm-hmm.
for our sisters.
Mm.
This has to be
Come on,
corrected
brother.
and quick, damn
That's right.
fast in a hurry. And if it hurts people's feelings, and I'm telling the truth, too
Should.
damn bad.
Should.
Too damn
Let it
bad.
in.
Who privileged you to be against your men other than white male supremacists? Part of the buck breaking is you watching your man get raped where he couldn't do any better, and you look down on him
That's
instead of
right.
saying, I hate a system that would rape my brother like this. Damn him. Why didn't he fight
Right.
back? So what, they had guns.
Right.
They have a little scene in The Color
Yeah.
Purple
So let's.
where they made Lawrence Fishburne look weak, where all the white men had guns and Oprah Winfrey had shot her mouth off at the crowd of angry white people. What was the black man supposed to do when that character she played, Sophia, could have been smarter, where she could have gotten
Right.
herself, her kids, and the guy killed because she had a jacked up attitude? There is an emotional problem in the feminine column of our race, and it has to be addressed. And there's no excuse for
Yes.
it anymore. I don't want to understand. In particular, if you didn't have to abort a baby for me, I don't owe you child support. I didn't give you AIDS. I didn't throw you down a flight of steps. I didn't snatch your purse. I'm not the liar and preacher that you give tithes to. Then
Come on,
I should
brother.
be treated like a human being unless I show myself worthy of your dishonor and contempt,
That's
not
right.
based on prima facie, you're a black man, you ain't nothing. And we got
Right.
millions of people that walk around who've got enough tattoos to be a cave in France, who are big enough to be an aircraft carrier, and so forth, with nasty attitudes that are as anti-black and male as the Ku Klux Klansman with a big can of Red Bull.
Right. Kenneth family, just tune it in. That's my brother, Dr. Randy Short. Let's bring it back to this election, brother, because again, these election irregularities, these anomalies, this fraud that we saw outright in states in particular, Georgia, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, might be missing one. But the question now is, of course, we know it's come out, Dominion voting, Hart Intercivic, which is of course owned by the son of Mitt Romney, I think Tag Romney.
And you know, I always call him Bitch Romney. He looks like Frankenstein with some Grecian formula. I mean, just look.
One of the top lobbyists with Dominion is chief of staff for Nancy Pelosi.
Right, but Nancy Pelosi's husband, owns Dominion.
Right.
So basically, the Democrats own. The Democrats own the software for the voting in 30 states. Okay, I don't think Barack Obama won the first time. I don't. Right. You can't tell me that white people voted for a black person. I grew up in a place where people were like, if I'm telling you, my first day of school was watching white women take their children out of school. I remember white women coming into the classroom and counting the number of blacks in the classroom and getting angry each time she saw another black. And she told us, and she said, you know, what kind of nigger love are you that you're going to have my daughter with these niggers? I mean, you should resign before you do this to any. And she took a child up. That was my first day of school in first grade. No, kindergarten, 1970. That's 50 years ago. That's wow. Right. These people were taking their kids and cursing. I'd never seen adults curse at other adults. Just me being in the classroom made people mad. Okay.
Correct.
You mean to tell me
Now
just a few years later they're all
let's get
voting
into
for a
it.
black person? I don't believe that. You can't make me
Right.
believe. I don't believe Obama won. I don't believe he won anything.
Right.
But
As
I
Kevin-
know we
as
lost.
as-
I know
as
we've
my
been
brother
losing.
As Kevin Fred said, the greatest drug dropped on the black community since crack cocaine was Barack Obama.
Well, and he's the one who loves giving crack too. Look, I just want to drop this.
According to what we know, right?
Please,
According to what
please.
we know from what was the guy, Larry? What's Sinclair?
Sinclair, but it's not just him. Donald Young.
Not just
There
him.
are others. I mean, come on.
Donald Young,
Come on.
Payne,
More.
that was Trinity,
More.
Yeah.
Infinity in terms of the number that he's with.
And
Look.
Infinity, and we called it Trinity, but it was an infinity for Obama.
Right, of
And
course.
the TLC
Right.
club they had down there,
I
right?
mean, bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more. Now, look,
That's
I
what he
want to
said.
say this. I want to thank everybody and go right into it. I need 16 more people to break down and become subscribers to the Randy
16?
Short. 16, 1 6.
16?
Yeah, come on, y'all. 16
All
people
right,
to
we can
go
do that.
to the Randy Short YouTube channel
YouTube.
and just
Okay,
subscribe.
okay.
It won't cost you anything. In fact, you might have some fun because sometimes these conversations are funny. So I need
Yes, sir.
16 more.
So-
Thank you,
and we're gonna
Sister
talk about
Latoya.
that. But now let's come back to last Tuesday. So the votes are coming in. We see this secession in certain states, right?
Right.
Then
We
all
see
of
a
sudden,
red wave.
I always say it's the midnight hour when it goes down, right? Kinda
Right.
like Wilson Pickett, I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour, right? When the machines can be manipulated, right?
Right.
So now they don't. Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, they don't claim victory on Wednesday. They don't claim it on Thursday. Don't claim it on Friday. But here comes Saturday morning, right? President Trump on the golf course, and they claim victory on a Saturday.
Well, didn't they
Never
crucify
seen before in the
Jesus?
history of
They
America.
they crucified Jesus on a Saturday. I mean, so you know they knew exactly what to do. It made perfect
shame in
sense
their
to
game.
me. Right. There's no shame. Look,
No shame.
they
said Republicans have standards, and the Democrats got double standards.
right. There's absolutely
Yes, sir.
no way that Trump lost. No way.
Right.
And
So
and part of what they're doing to defend Biden winning is showing the joy of blacks to deflect that there are some people happy he won.
Right.
Okay, and there's some sexuality people out there raising hell, but but just as sure as I'm speaking to you, you heard that in Portland, Oregon, they set the Democratic Party headquarters on fire in Portland. So Antifa doesn't want him either. People don't want
Nope.
Joe. Joe represents the banks. Okay, I mean, look,
right.
and
Represents Wall Street.
and
Big
I'm
Pharma. And we come into big tech because they could not have tried to pull this off without the assistance of the fake news media and big tech.
and big tech and you know that.
censoring everybody.
and-
Talk about that because big tech gave $5 million to his campaign.
But
We know
but big tech knows that Biden has promised to give American citizenship and amnesty to 500,000 Indians, who are the backbone of the high tech industry in California,
Right. That's right. In the Silicon Valley.
Silicon
Right.
Valley,
Yes,
right? So look,
right. That's right.
we know that Facebook, which has kept me off of its platform for more or less 2 out of the last 5 years, I've been off of Facebook for 2 years. I mean, that's a lot of time to just, I mean, that's just keep you off, to keep you silent. It's not just me. All of these, Twitter, Google, all these people are working against Donald Trump. They have a monopoly. They're destroying First Amendment freedoms, in particular freedom of speech. And they need to be stopped. The problem that I would say is not so much that they weren't trying to take it, because they knew this last time. What helped Donald Trump win was that people like Roger Stone and others, and people like me who are called,
they called the alt-right, which the media called the alt-right.
well,
It was the alt-right
and then there was then there are the Black Russians, the people like me who
They
attacked
call us the Black Russians.
Black Lives Matter or Black Fags Matter, and we attacked Antifa. We attacked all of them. You know, like I got put off back in 2015. I made my little nasty Angela Davis joke. I said Angela Davis went from wearing a bush to eating one, and then I got put off. I got put off for a month for making fun of her and talking. I mean,
but not just that, but sure, not just that. I mean, we end up getting moved on to shows like Carl Nelson, right?
Mhm,
Because we was going in hard
Yes, but remember, I did a show with Black Lives Matter, and I did a show with Black Lives Matter. Do you remember that, Brother Darren? No, you don't. Remember that he adjusted my mic down so I couldn't speak back?
Yes.
You didn't hear what happened between the commercial where the little lesbian was saying, Carl, we've been good to you. Carl, you can't do this. No, Carl, you have to stop Dr. Short. We've helped you. If you let him do this, you can't let him do this to us. We help you. We buy, and you have to stop Dr. Short. And I'm thinking, isn't this interesting? I mean, and this happened twice. I did the thing with the brother, Curtis Schoon, who you need to have on your platform. And Curtis Schoon did Black, White, and Blue. The people from the DMV regional Black Lives Matter came to protest the film being made because Dr. Short was in it. And I remember the big mule-looking sister got up there and says, "How could you do this to us? You have Dr. Short. You know what he is to us, Dr. Short. Why did you have him?" And Dr. Short, Dr. Short has been a thorn in our side. And he says, and he hates us. And I was up in the audience saying, yes, I hate y'all. I absolutely hate you. It's true. I hate you. And they said to him, your movie, no one's going to see this because you have him in there. We'll see to it. We'll punish you. We're going to get Dr. Short, and all of them, none of them. You have to understand Black Lives Matter, and them all work with the social media people. If you fight Black Lives Matter, you get put off. Remember DeRay McKesson, your school board member, right. And he liked the ball. That was the syllable in the name of the city he liked the most. Now he's screwing one of the white guys that owns Twitter significantly. Yeah, I got put off of Twitter. They put me off for 24 hours because there's a picture of him with his boyfriend with their fists raised. And I asked what was harder than DeRay's fist. And they wouldn't put me off.
but again, talk about, the censorship that we're seeing. So much so.
The only thing that you can do is.
Many of the whites and independent thinking ones are now saying they're going over to the other social media platforms.
Like Parler.
Right?
They are, because I was talking to someone, the guy who helped raise money for Kim Klacik mentioned to me that they're going to go to Parler because you have freedom of speech. My question is, where's Black Book or Nig Book or More Book or whatever it is? Where's our stuff? Where are our people that are going to create the platforms and things that we need for us to just do our own stuff? Okay, and I'm going to type a message.
Yeah.
Right.
So again, family, just tuning in, having a conversation with Brother Dr. Randy Short. So again, we gotta have, as we are the alternative media, the imperative media today for our people to be listening to. We gotta have other platforms in which to get the message out, as we're seeing this censorship, as we're talking about, that's going on, and that's what Big Tech did, try to throw this election to, of course, Joe Biden. Is that correct?
They did. They gave it to him. Look, you know who I saw on Inauguration Day in 2017? Wolf Blitzer. Wolf Blitzer was so angry. He was just walking around the Capitol Hill in a Jewish rage. You would have thought he just walked through the showers in Auschwitz. I'm just telling you, because I spoke to him. He just glared. He was just going crazy seeing people that supported Trump. In fact, we had so much fun laughing at people 4 years ago, and they remembered us laughing at them. But we're going to laugh again because if Trump has to get out.
Let me go to this clip I think I saw on, and I played it on the show the other day, but it was an interview. This one is with attorney Sidney Powell, who was the attorney for General Michael Flynn. She was on Lou Dobbs' show Friday night, but I think in this piece she pretty much says what she said on the Lou Dobbs show. This is from Gateway Pundit, talking about the election irregularities. Let me play this clip down.
All-out war, beginning with a slew of new lawsuits this week, beginning with one in Pennsylvania tomorrow, along with what our next guest says is evidence of voter fraud. Sidney Powell is General Michael Flynn's attorney. She is fighting on the front lines of this battle as part of the president's legal team. Sidney, good morning to you. Thank you for being here. Can you walk us through what has taken place here as you see it?
Yes, there has been a massive and coordinated effort to steal this election from we, the people of the United States of
That's
America,
right.
to delegitimize and destroy votes for Donald Trump, to manufacture votes for Joe Biden. They have done it in every way imaginable, from having dead people vote in massive numbers to absolutely fraudulently creating ballots that exist only voting for Biden. We've identified at least 450,000 ballots in the key states that miraculously only have a mark for Joe Biden on them and no other candidate.
450,000.
Where things were done right, you can see that that's how the rest of the country should have gone. But they also used an algorithm to calculate the votes they would need to flip, and they used the computers to flip those votes from from Trump to Biden, and from other Republican candidates to their competitors also. I think Doug Collins had the race stolen from him. I think John James had his race stolen from him.
They stole his, the black dude that's a Republican. They stole his.
We have got to fight tooth and nail in federal court to expose this abject fraud and the conspiracy behind it, and get a recount and audits in every place it's needed, which is, frankly, most of the country.
Most of the country.
There are recounts going on right now. We know that in Georgia, you have a list of numbers of ballots with only Joe Biden on the ticket. You say it's 98,000 ballots in Pennsylvania.
98,000.
Another 42,000 in Arizona, 69 to 115,000 in Michigan, and 62,000 in Wisconsin. Sidney, if this is true, this appears systemic. Where is the Department of Justice? Where is the AG Bill Barr? If this is so obvious, then why aren't we seeing massive government investigations?
Why aren't we?
I don't know. We definitely should be. I mean, we're getting reports of all kinds of fraud. We've got getting an affidavit from a postal worker now who talks about having been ordered to backdate ballots. No ballots received after
Trump may need to fire Barr.
We've got multiple states that didn't even follow the rules of their own legislature. That's a federal constitutional issue. There are at least three major federal issues here that will require the Supreme Court to resolve this case. And when the votes are really audited and the real votes are counted, Trump will win. He is the president, and he's in charge of this country.
Sidney, I want to ask you about these algorithms and the Dominion software. I understand Nancy Pelosi has an interest in this company.
Sure, she does.
We'll come back with that. I'm talking with Sidney Powell this morning on her legal strategy.
This is so evil. This is evil.
Come back in. Let's see if she comes back with it.
Now, are you understand?
She came back in with it, but she
but
talked about
450,000, but in particular in Georgia. So who's going to fall on their sex toy when Georgia goes back to Trump? Big, bloated Stacey Abrams, who looks like a sumo wrestler, had a baby with somebody on welfare.
This is the other piece, Dr. Short. This is the other piece I want to share.
That 3% of the vote total was changed in the pre-election voting ballots that were collected digitally by using the Hammer program and a software program called Scorecard.
Yeah.
Amounted to a massive change in the vote that would have gone across the country.
I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Operation Hammer and Operation Scorecard, which is the two programs that she mentioned. And these are programs the CIA, they said, used in Venezuela, used in the Philippines, and other countries. They brought the program back home and used it in America. Now, they said when Obama ran in 2012, he brought the program inside of America.
Well, Obama's a CIA legacy. Okay, so look, the CIA has
for those that may not know, you say Obama CIA. Spend a minute, talk about that.
Okay. Obama's grandparents work with the CIA. Obama's mother worked with the CIA. Obama's Indonesian adopted father was a CIA asset that helped kill hundreds of thousands of people in the Indonesian Communist Party. Obama's mother is what you call a weaponized anthropologist that went to study cultures to help the CIA and others subvert Pakistan and other countries. Obama's mother helped launder money for the CIA through the Bank of Hawaii during the Vietnam War and other conflicts. I mean, this idea that Obama's right. I mean, and just ask yourself, what was Obama's mother doing studying Russian at the University of Hawaii in the late 50s? Who studies Russian? Okay, for the CIA or for Foreign Service, which often is both. His mom's CIA, his grandma's CIA, his grandpa's CIA. Okay, and the Bushes are CIA too.
Sure. Right. Yeah, absolutely. So now let's talk about what we heard Attorney Sidney Powell saying, that all of this will eventually go to the Supreme Court. And this is why I said what we have to do is look at this as a chess move, and what President Trump did a week before the election, which was, of course, to solidify what I thought would be any chess move that the Democrats made by placing, again, Judge Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court.
If you have found overcoming the dragon
to the Supreme
ministry
Court,
to be a source of strength and help to your spiritual walk in these trying times, why not show your support today?
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, that cookie baking broad who likes adopting kids that doesn't like killing babies, she's got to pay back for them putting her on the court with her. Look, Amy Barrett, she's going to make them bear it. She's going to strap it on and stick it to Joe Biden, probably like he likes it. Maybe Obama, too.
And Clarence Thomas, who swore her in the night that she became a Supreme Court justice, will probably be the one to write the decision on that.
Absolutely.
Biden did to him, right?
And he'll remember every strand of pubic hair on the Coke can that he was accused of having. You bet your ass. This is what's going on.
So for those that think that this is a done deal, let's just make it clear. This is not done at all.
It's not done.
Right.
It's not done.
So
If you have found
what can do now? The other part we got to ask, because you just came back from Kentucky.
Right.
Talk about how, because I think our people, we only see things through our lens, right? Talk about how Donald Trump is loved around this country, man.
Look,
I don't think our people travel outside of their communities to see this. They see it in
when you look at the blue on the map that Trump lost, that's where black people live. The red is where white people live. I had on my Blexit shirt in a bookstore outside of Nashville, and I was just trying to make certain that the books I got out of the bin that were free, no one would think I was shoplifting. And I tried to explain to the man, these aren't books that came out of the store. These were out in the bin. And the guy says, you don't have to tell me that. I'm thinking, I'm black and I don't steal. And I realized he was fixating on the Blexit on my shirt. You're black.
What's Blexit for those that don't know? What's Blexit?
Blacks leaving the Democratic Party. When he saw the Blexit, he didn't even care if I was stealing. He wanted to talk to someone black that didn't hate Trump. And he proceeded to say, do you know Candace Owens? I says, I've met her once. He says, she's moving here to Nashville. We're all excited. And he says, don't worry. You just walk out. If anyone says anything, I'll tell them that you're okay. When I go out with the shirt, a crowd of white folk come up and start talking to me, crying about the election. And I'm sure you understand. These people, let me tell you, they don't like black people, but they like Trump so much. If you're black and you don't hate Trump, they start doing things, giving you things because they love this man. Black people haven't had any leadership that speaks to us that we really love. I mean, Farrakhan sort of, but not really on a certain level.
Right.
Trump is loved. These people will kill you over Trump. I saw them. I got a video up on my YouTube channel, Randy Short. They were driving all around the country with the banners for Trump. They were in the rivers with boats with Trump banners. Trump and them ran out of money to print Trump signs and shirts. It's shit sold out. Everyone's got them. And so what we need to understand is about a half to 6 out of 10 white people are with Trump 100%. 6 out of 10, if not more than that, because he speaks to their concerns, whether we get it or not. The same way folks don't understand why we like what we like, we need to understand that, everything doesn't translate. Donald Trump resonates white male pride. White male.
He's what they call a throwback dad or granddad.
Yes, he is. He's like the Daniel Boone, the country wild man that tamed the frontier, that killed Indians, that hunted down black folk. He represents type A white maleness, alpha white maleness, and even the white women lie about not liking it. They love it. No woman wants to be with a limp dick dude who can't make up his mind what he want to do. Oh, yes, dear. Do you want to hump me, dear? I'm sorry. I was assertive. I didn't mean to, right? Women don't like that. The white lesbian feminists and pork chop feminists have lied to black men and women, got women thinking in fact, they don't want a man that's sensitive. If a man that's so sensitive, he's afraid he's going to hurt you. If you say, stop, oh, I'm so sorry. Stop. Oh, I'm sorry. Right? You wouldn't want to be with the dude. You halfway get excited, he's scared. Walking around with an asthma inhaler every 5 seconds. Women don't like that. Women are not turned on by that. Women want a man with some oomph, with some shine, some sparkle, with some fire, with some life. They even want to argue with you over which movie. I mean, that's what. Who told us that men can't be themselves? White lesbian feminists and sellout trader Boule pork chop feminists. They're an enemy to all of us.
Right. And talk about how see the way whites picture Trump, that his stand against the globalists, right, as a nationalist, and he's not a Republican but a populist, and he's brought more blacks and others to the Republican Party, even though he wasn't a Republican, and how they look at Trump in that picture in terms of what he's fulfilling. They see him as divinely guided, right?
That's right.
And as Dick Gregory said, that he would be the last president of the United States of America. Talk about that.
Donald Trump, you have to understand, when you see Paula White and all these people, Franklin Graham and them praying over him, Kenneth Hagin, Kenneth Copeland, all these people praying. Donald Trump represents literally the hub of white spiritual, cultural, male, political, Anglo-Saxon power. Him. Right. This is what he's become. Whether we think so or not, they think so. That's so, trust me. If you go, and I'm just telling you, Kentucky, I go to Kentucky, and one of the men who's one of the most powerful men in the state, my host said, oh, he supports Trump. You know what this man told me? If Trump wins, anything you want to do for blacks in agriculture, I'm going to get for you. Over saying you like Trump. I mean, I'm black. You're supposed to say no. They want Trump to succeed so much, they'll help black people. Just to prove to the Democrats and to prove to blacks who are on the plantation that they aren't bad, whether they're bad or not. I'm not saying anybody loves us. I'm trying to say to you, they love this man. They love him. They really do love him. When they halfway think that you don't hate them, let me tell you, I accidentally wore a campaign shirt for Congressman Andy Harris, the one out in outside of Baltimore.
Yeah.
I had a Trump Harris shirt on. I wasn't even paying attention. I just put the shirt on. There were people coming, hugging me, shaking my hand in the Walmart with COVID. Yeah, people waving.
Now, pause right there, because you mentioned COVID. All these people jumped out to go celebrate Saturday, right?
Right.
You hear the media, see them condemning them, talking about being out there irresponsible with the COVID, out there celebrating without mask on, if they had masks on. So just your thoughts on that. Again, it's a double standard. If it's some white Confederate Republicans, the media come down hard on them, right?
That's correct.
But if it's some Biden, Kamala Harris, right?
It's different. Well, it's the same thing with the Black Lives Matter protests. There was no issue about the mask and all. It's only when it's Trump people. Look, they may have even invented this virus just to seize power.
Yeah,
they're low enough to do this.
So-called vaccine, right?
Right.
Then the day after the election, they talk about it, right?
Yes.
The day after they confirm, at least the day after they think they stole the election now, with President-elect, as they want to say, Joe Biden. Now here comes Pfizer, but as you said, of course, black should not be the first one unless you're dumb enough to be the one to say you voted for Biden.
Right.
You're going to get in line and take that vaccine from Pfizer, then stick a fork in you because you're going to definitely be a done deal around here.
Right.
So what can the people do? That's the other part, because we know what we heard Sidney Powell and others say. The legal action is starting on the state level, and of course, it's going to roll like a ball. It's going to build a momentum.
Black people,
to the Supreme Court.
Black people need to stock up food, water, have the basic things that you have, because there could be problems. If you can get some ammo, have some ammo. If you can't get that, get a bow and arrow set. Have something where you can lethally deter someone that may do something to hurt you or your family. That's all I'm saying. Strap up. If you can't, don't go out and bother a soul. I'm on the Malcolm X page here. Don't fuss with, don't talk to, not even a coon, because coons will go and tell other people. There are black folks going to jail for election fraud.
But the other part is that in terms of on a political level, these voting machine systems we've talked about for years, that Soros, who owned Dibo, were heavily invested in Dibo. The other company was Smartmatic. Soros through, I think his name was Lord Malik Brown, who's the Open Society Institute or Open Society Foundation, CEO over that company. So we got these companies that have this software that we know can be manipulated and changed. That is an issue that the state legislators can seriously take up, right?
Absolutely. Look,
because these are contracts.
Cynthia McKinney, as well, it's fraud if they're using the government money to do that. They can get them for so many other things.
That's right.
Somebody's Guantanamo's going to have a full. I mean, it's going to be a.
Gitmo gonna be full, huh?
As they say in the hotel business, it's going to be a perfect sell. Remember, Cynthia McKinney and others, Greg Palast and others were talking about these machines. In 2006, yes. Operation Blackout, I think, was a documentary. We did a presentation at Boule University. So some of us have been seeing this for a while. I want to say a shout out to a deceased elder, Brother Lawrence Giat of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee from Mississippi.
Yes, yes.
I remember voting 20 years ago. 20 years ago voting last month. And Lawrence Giat saw me voting absentee because I was in Hampton, Virginia, the night that they gave the election to George W. Bush. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I remember Lawrence Giat saying of the electrical things, this is a quote, "I'm gonna use paper. I don't fuck with those electrical machines." And that's what the black elder said. Don't F with those. This is what he said. I don't trust him. That was one of the last times that I saw Lawrence Giat, but we happened to be voting at the exact same time. Yes, Lawrence Giat was one of the people that was fighting for black people to get the vote, who got beat like John Lewis, but didn't talk about it. And isn't it interesting that John Lewis and C.T. Vivian and all these voting people died this year?
This year, that's right.
C.T. Vivian and John Lewis dying on the same day. I knew both. I happen to love C.T. Vivian. I like John Lewis, but it's hard to forgive people being compromised. You know, John, you know, when his wife was dead, he could have come out the closet and said, "Look, I'm gay. And this is who I am, but I love my people." But he didn't love his people. He loved himself. And he continued to fool us. In fact, I think he was buried face down.
Now, the other part of this election piece I want to talk about was that them making this announcement on Saturday was the day after, I think it was Supreme Court Justice Alito gave them orders in Pennsylvania that they must separate the ballots received on election day.
That were late, the ones that came late. And they refused They refuse to do it.
Right. Which means they can be held in contempt of court. Is that correct?
Yeah, they should, and they should be jailed.
And jail. Now, the other piece to this is that there's some that have said that this was no more than a smooth, calculated, methodical, tactician chess move made by Trump, because many of those ballots were watermarked by the Department of Homeland Security. And therefore, anybody that got a ballot that's not watermarked, we know that those are ballots that are legal ballots. Have you read that? Or no?
I've heard that from the guy they call Pacentic, and I call him prosthetic, because sometimes I wonder if he's telling the truth. I call him prosthetic. Okay.
Right. So you said you've heard that? I
have heard that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were watermarked, but you know what? It's time to round these people up. If Pacentic is correct, they even sent people to Delaware. The 14 states they went, a lot of folks are going to go to jail.
Yes.
In fact, they're going to need the spaces that they let the brothers up.
It said this is an intelligence operation that was run using, of course, the election as an opportunity to expose all of that. So all of that will eventually come out, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. You broke up a minute ago. Say what you were saying. Well,
Pacentic said that this is what had happened. And Let's see. And, if Donald Trump, who is a shyster, he knows how to trick people and take advantage of folks. Wouldn't it be interesting if he used what he knew from the street? Because he's like a urban northeastern white male who's street savvy, who's done all kinds of stuff. He knows how to get around. Right. So I could just see him saying, but these guys think they're going to screw me. I screw them first. I'm the one that's going to be on top. I'm going to be the one that beats Nancy, Hillary, Chucky Schumer, all of these losers. They're trying to get me. I'm going to get them first. I get the reputation. I stay in the White House. They go to jail. Plain and simple. And you know what? He wants to go all over the country and go on tour to fill out the stadiums. And it'll be even bigger. Let me tell you.
And some would say that this has validity because the day he fired his Secretary of Defense, what was it, Mark Esper?
Right.
So why would he fire him if Trump is on his way out of the White House?
Now he needs to fire Barr and put someone in emergency wise. I mean, I hope he does that. And I hope he fires Kushner. Kushner is the person that runs black people for Trump. I'll never understand that. I mean, he doesn't really understand black people. So what he knows, Kim Kardashian. I mean, even her behind isn't real. How is she going to be a real black person?
And the other thing, Doc Short, that we got to remind our people, the mainstream news media does not choose the presidents of the United States, because people see it on CNN and the mainstream news media. They say projected winner. They don't say it's official. So I want you to talk about that.
Well, they're used to having their way.
CNN and mainstream media, that's the
they project guilt. They project guilt on thousands of blacks murdered by the police. They do a lot of things, and what they say goes. Their bullshit that they talk walks, right? So and who checks them? Who counters them? They finally had a white male who has his own money, who doesn't respect them. This is a kind of situation that occurred with Bacon's Rebellion in 1676, where a white gentleman didn't want to go along with the established elite, and he decided to have his own game. And what did Bacon do? Bacon got the Indians, blacks, and whites to go off on the other people. So you have the equivalent of someone who was an elite that went rogue and hooked up with the ordinary people to tear everything up. And this is what they're afraid of. And they're like begging Trump not to, like he told the Proud Boys to stand down. He could really go out and say, I want to save this country. I want fellow Americans to take over the postal services, take over the media. We need to prevent a communist hostile takeover our republic. Right. So if you've got a gun or a steak knife or something, go out and just deal with the traitors. If he said that, people go out and start killing for him. Folks would get jacked up. Right. He could just do that. He could just do. He could just do that.
To our people, the news media doesn't choose the president.
No, the electors.
Then let's talk about
the electors choose.
Because they don't meet till December
13th, 14th, 14th, one of those 2 days. They're not going. There is no election. They can't call it.
Right.
And by the way, a lot of black folks are retarded. They watch CNN. Whenever anything is free, whether it's sex or sugary food or high, it's no good.
Right.
CNN is everywhere. It is the biggest brainwashing instrument. All they do is sit up and trash Trump all day. I mean, you think he's the only person. Right. You know what? When you want to meet a stupid black person, they watch CNN all day long. Right. And it's CNN's one of the worst things. I'm not even saying watch Fox. CNN. Don't want right. They do all day long. I mean, and there's nothing on there. And look at the weak people they have on there. You look at I call him Scam Jones, and Alki Sellers. You know, his political career got messed up because Bakari was driving drunk. Now, you really think you come from a political family that you can go to a football game full of white folk who hate your guts, you can get drunk, and they're not going to tell on their state troopers to stop you? I mean, these folks are clueless to systemic racism. Right. You aren't free. So what your father was in SNCC, you weren't in SNCC. Right. Okay? No. I mean, all these, so CNN, it's a scam. I watch it sometimes, but they don't give you any real news. We need to stop trusting CNN. You would do better to listen to Black Authority, Professor Black Truth, State of the City, Afro Synergy, Fly Nubian Queen, Black Agenda. In fact, you can even listen to Boyce Watkins. He said some stuff at the last minute. He halfway said some. Boyce Watkins halfway came real. Oh, I left out Tariq Nasheed. No, I'm coming with Tariq Nasheed. Now I got it. That's the sugar there. I mean, Tariq Nasheed is like me with 1 million people listening. I mean, and he just pimp slap everybody. Tariq Nasheed and some of these other people are much better. Right. I listened to Tariq before. And who's that dude? Talcum X. Don't listen to him. Sean King. I mean,
Sean King.
Talcum X. Yeah.
Wait, what about brother Umar Johnson? Now, he's still trying to get the school bill. What about Umar Johnson?
You know,
trying to get the school bill.
I would like for him to get I'd like for him to get a rehab center built. And he can wherever he is, get some help. There's a problem. I don't know what it is. Right. Okay, you need to have Queen's sister. Queen's sister is a sister from Chicago who used to go with Umar. I'm gonna just put this out here. I don't know that but Queen's sister swears that Umar was her boyfriend, and Umar became an agent in Chicago. Right. This is what she says. I'm not saying I don't know. This is what she said, and they broke up because he wanted to hustle black people. I am not saying that's true, because there's a lot of stuff that Umar Johnson says that's true, that's useful, that's helpful. Umar says a lot of phenomenal things. However, and so the message sometimes is decent, but the messenger, the messenger can be so flawed until people don't hear the message. So I will give Umar high marks for the people that he's reaching, that he's getting to think. Where I have an issue is Umar, if you yourself have some challenges that you need to resolve and people are looking to you for leadership, the next black leader that comes along won't have anyone trust them because you ruin the chain of trust in the community. So that's all I'm saying. I hope he builds a school. God, please build a school. In fact, the school he was looking at down in Lawrenceville, Virginia, where Bill Cosby's family comes from, my family built that school, St. James College. The matriarch of my family graduated from St. James College in 1936. So I wish he had fixed that up. I was hoping.
No, he said he found a building in Delaware now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and so what he does is he must check the Superfund directory and find places that can't be used, and then there. I don't know. I'm only saying, look, wherever there is good, if he can do good, please do all the good you can, Brother Umar.
That's right.
Where there's an issue where good isn't happening, he's far more useful to Black people with his life together and his reputation intact than for him to be under a cloud of people wondering what's up with him. So, we've been talking for years and I've never really said much about Umar. I hope there's some good. There's some very positive things, very true things. All of the good from Umar, I want it to spread all over our community. Where there is confusion, chaos, people not understanding, that needs to be checked. In terms of this, one person in your feed said that they don't believe that Umar has an agent issue. I would simply say to you, I didn't say he was an agent. His ex-girlfriend, her name is Queen's sister, and Brother Darren, you should have her on your show. Let her tell. I don't know. I want to definitely have her on. I don't know. I didn't know this stuff. I didn't go looking for her. Just my folks in Chicago have such issues when you say Umar and they yell and scream. So I say something nice about Umar, folks start yelling at me. You're stupid. You don't know who he really is. He was up at the University of Chicago. I don't know. I'm not there. Okay. You've talked to the person I'm talking about, Paul and Mark, and Umar doesn't go to Chicago much. Okay. I'm just, there's a reason. Like them new Black Panther don't go to Chicago. It's a reason that people don't go, that the people on the ground knows. That's what people on the ground say, that we've lost faith in Umar. That's what they say. I don't know. It hasn't happened to me. Let me act like Black women do. He hasn't done anything to me. So evidence and all that doesn't mean anything. That's how we often do. That's why a lot of folks voted for Biden, because information and facts and other people's experiences don't count. By the time they lynch your husband, your child, and they screw everybody, we're genocided. We need to learn vicariously that if there is a problem, if there's some transparency, if you're collecting funds and money from the people and you promise something, I can just tell you, I have seen people set up institutions. Well, I hope the book is good. No. I hope that the book, if it's out, if it's a productive book that helps people, God bless him. I'm not against people having. My issue is, do what you say, be certified for what you say you're certified in. If you lost the money, if the money got whatever, you should give an accounting, so when people know, when people can say, well, Umar put money and the money disappeared, or someone stole the money, or he got a bad contract. They did this to Marcus Garvey. They set Marcus Garvey up to fail financially. These things happen. Then be transparent. That's all. Umar has to do is be transparent. To not be transparent and to keep trying to get more money and say all this stuff without saying, look, that's where the problem comes in. I don't spend my time knocking down other Black folks who are trying to help other Black people. Not at all. But if you are hurting, juxtapose the Umar, I want to go to Chicago, since we've been to Chicago. Brother Marcus Klein and the great work he's doing with our young people in Chicago, because all of this, essentially what we're talking about, is teaching our young people, creating our own institutions, maintaining and sustaining our own institutions. So talk about the great work Brother Marcus is doing in Chicago. And of course, I don't know him. The Fred Hampton House that's in Chicago. I don't know him. I'm sorry. But I do see this thing here. Brandon Carey has a statement that I've seen. And Russia Today for France, Trump will have 80 million votes after the recounts in the states where it's their law. I've seen this 80 million votes for Trump, which is far more than what Biden has. And this is in France and Europe. They're talking about it, but not in America, where the media here has decided that they can construct reality the same way they can make a caste Hindu Sidepiece liar, tramp, mass incarceration artist, whore, a Black Queen's sister. That's a damn lie. It always has been. Right. Now, Dr. Short, before we wrap up, we didn't get a chance to get into, Saturday, that whole, not Joe Biden, but the hunter who's become the hunted. Let's real fast. I think Hunter Biden was on the stage with him. Have you seen
pictures with him and one of the Obama girls?
It looks like it's Malia Obama.
That's
Anybody that goes
too, right?
to gtv.org,
Right.
gtv.org, G as in girl, T as in Tom, V as in virgin. Certainly don't associate that word with Kamala. .org. gtv.org is a website that shows Hunter Biden molesting children. And they claim the same Chinese who put this out say they have pictures of Obama and Joe Biden Sr. And anybody that's lived in Delaware like you have, Brother Darren, know that Joe Biden Jr. was alleged to be a queen and a deviant and supported white hate groups killing black people. And I agree. The name is Kumala, not Kamala. Okay?
Right. Yes.
Kumala.
So that laptop, of course, from hell.
Yes.
And many have said is worse than what we saw with Anthony Weiner.
Of course it is. Right.
And all of that is come to the surface.
Look,
now, so.
I've never seen it, but I did see it, unfortunately. A man being masturbated by a little girl's feet. Okay. I'm going to stop there. It's too awful.
Right.
That's what he likes. Hunter Biden, and it's not that big either. I would mess with kids too if I was as unendowed as he was. He didn't have much. I mean, maybe that's why he's messing in romper room, because he can't please a real adult woman. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Except his brother's wife, right?
Well, and his brother's daughter, and his brother's daughter,
and his niece, right? His brother's daughter,
right?
Yeah. And so all of this has come to the surface now. And the interesting thing is that
the media won't touch it. The media won't touch it. You can't put it on Facebook. You can't put it on Twitter. You can't discuss it because, look, here's my feeling. And I've said this and I'm going to tell the world. I have felt for a long time that Joe Biden had his first wife killed, and I believe the daughter too. I believe that he molested the little girl. The little girl told mom. Mom couldn't take it anymore, and he bumped him off. This woman, Jill, was babysitting his children the night his first wife died.
Right. That's right.
I believe it until someone can prove to me otherwise that he didn't have something to do with his wife dying. It's so convenient. Right. Okay. And his other daughter, Naomi, who's a drug addict, has a diary out claiming her father started screwing her when she was 5.
That's right. Yeah, she said that. Yeah.
Okay. So, and I'm wondering.
The thing is that all the lawyers who got access to the computer, the Biden family didn't say they was going to sue the New York.
And they didn't say it wasn't true. But let me ask all the black women that voted, what kind of woman votes for a man that rapes children? Rapes female children? All this Me Too stuff, I hate the arbitrary, hypocritical approach to the abuse of women, that it never is consistent. It's so selective of who women go after. If I don't like him, he's bad. If I like him, he can rip all the little kids he wants. This is craziness.
Right.
And it's hypocrisy.
That's right.
And by the way, this is the women at fault here. I'll talk about no good black men that don't pay child support. And I will also talk about pork chop feminist traitors who run after Me Too and go after everybody black and male. They're mad at R. Kelly, and they can't get mad at Joe and Hunter Biden.
Come on, that's right.
Please.
Bill Cosby and talk about, right? So
what I'm saying.
We're gonna let's take a few calls.
Okay.
If you got a question for Dr. Short, 443-379-4453. 443-379-4453. If you got a question for Dr. Short, and if not, then we'll look at some of your questions and or comments that are on Facebook, on YouTube. But if you got a question directly for Dr. Short, 443-379-4453.
And I'm short. I need 38 subscribers on my YouTube page. Where is y'all? Well, no, someone must have looked at it wrong. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, maybe they did. Okay, I need 38. Well, 16. No, it's 38 because I'm looking at it.
Joe Biden math, it can go from 16 to 16,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we talk about the Matrix.
Now, what happened? Did they shut you off?
Good question.
Okay.
Peace, Brother Mike. You understand the city. Got a question for Doc?
Yeah, how you doing today, Don? How you doing, Dr. Randy Shaw?
Good, my brother.
I'm blessed, and you, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask this clown show with the election. This will be going to the Supreme Court, you think, right?
Yeah.
I do.
Yes, sir. Yes. So we'll go to the Supreme Court, and it'll be overturned.
And get it right.
Right, and it will get it right.
Yes. And that cookie baking broad.
Sure, but of course, it was in 1999 or 2000 when Al Gore, I think 6 weeks, he was out fighting to get, of course, his case heard by the Supreme Court with the Gore versus Bush election.
But he was a punk. Al Gore's a punk.
Yeah.
Trump is not a punk. Trump is not Al Gore.
Gore.
They picked the wrong one.
He ain't John Edwards. He's showing them that. He ain't no punk, you know? So anything else?
I hope they hurry up, man, because I'm running out of popcorn and raisin nuts.
Well, it's coming. It's coming.
Nuts right now.
Uh-oh.
So, thank you, Brother Mike. Appreciate the call. All right, my brother. Peace. Get a green to the queen. So yeah, talk about this because again, this is it's not going to be an overnight process. Again, with Gore Bush, I think it went 6 weeks, and then the Supreme Court overturned it December the 17th, 2000. So I want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I was at Al Gore's house the day he conceded. I was working.
Don't say with Donna Brazil.
With Donna Brazil. I had an argument with Donna Brazil. And I went off on Donna Brazil. I went off on Donna Brazil, and she did something. And I says, don't run from me. I'm not a threat. You're bigger than me. You're stronger than I am. I'm making a point to you that you dog black men. You know goodness well that they weren't going to protect the voting rights. And you're the head of the Democratic Party. You know how Florida is. You know that Florida and South Carolina.
And who was the head of the NAACP at the time when that took place?
You fool me.
Quite easy, you don't fool me.
Right. So they sold out. So yeah, I had an argument, and I just went off on her. And let me tell you, Donna Brazil must wear size 18 shoe. I mean, she could be a Bigfoot. I mean, she's just a giant. Anyway, just Al Gore. What happened, I remember it, is that Lieberman and a group of Jews all drove off. And after that, Gore's wife gave the first speech, and then he gave a speech, and he conceded. But none of Lieberman's Jews were there at the Naval Observatory. I was there. I saw it. I was standing next to them, okay? And so I'm just going to tell you that's real talk. I mean, that actually happened.
Right. And you say Al Gore's a chump. Trump got no chump.
Yeah, Trump's going to fight because Trump would go to jail if he loses. So Trump has everything to fight for. So he's backed against the wall. He'll be like a cornered rat. He will fight to the death. There's no way he'll pull everything. If he has to call national emergency and simply just take it, Abraham Lincoln style, he's going to do it. Trump isn't going anywhere. And trust me, white women did not vote for this side piece of Willie Brown to be the next president of the country. This is not what they want. It's never going to happen. All the pork chop feminists, it's not happening. You won't get what you want. Do not collect money. Go straight to jail. You will not pass go. They are not going to put this woman in. They're not going to put any black woman in. And even Obama, he was gender fluid, and he was only half white. They're not going to put anybody in that is too connected to a culture that might have vested interests other than that of Anglo power. Kamala Harris is a wild card. You can't trust her. Her husband can't trust her. Okay. Willie Brown can't trust her. Okay. Her father can't trust her. No, you don't want her in there. In fact, and nobody wants a Hindu with the big dot on the head coming to the National Cathedral and having a national day of prayer. It's never going to happen. Okay. It can't happen. Okay. Bet your ass. Just trust me. Kamala will not be president of this country. It's never going to happen.
That's right. Again, family, just tuning in, having a conversation with Dr. Randy Short. I had posted this article from Gateway Pundit. I mentioned it on the show last week. 3 of the Supreme Court justices were on the Bush legal team in the year 2000. They were Judge Roberts, Judge Brett Kavanaugh, and Judge Amy Coney Barrett. So it's just more evidence that this is going right to the Supreme Court. I mean, Stevie Wonder could see this.
Well, Stevie Wonder couldn't see it. He was at Al Gore's house when he conceded. I know this, and so was Naomi Campbell.
Right, so
I'm just telling you,
right?
now he can see it. Look, Trump is not going to give it. And anytime the little ugly Lucky Charms looking crackhead, former President George W. Bush told Trump that congratulating Biden, Trump hates the Bushes. He's not going to give in just to spite those people. It's just real talk.
That's right.
I want to thank everybody, Brother Darren. I just need what? I need 27 more. 27 more. Come on, y'all. Treat me like I'm white. I need 3 groups of 9 to sign up.
Treat you like you're white.
Yes. I mean,
Yes,
like Biden, vote for me when I'm in the wrong and won't do nothing for me, for you. Support me when I'm wrong. Support me when I have a history of mistreating you. Love me when I don't love you back. Yes, treat me like I'm white.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So how many more you need now? You said 16.
Well, that's what the number I got from my seat.
If you ain't doing your white Joe Biden, man.
No. It changed. It went up 11. So now I just need 27.
27. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you're doing some Joe Biden mathematics.
Well, this is what YouTube is doing. I'm just looking at the number.
That's YouTube. That's probably YouTube cutting out your subscribers as they subscribe.
Probably.
That could be what we're getting.
Probably.
So we got a thought, question, comment again, 443-379-4453. Otherwise, we're gonna look at some of these comments that I think some of the listeners have posted. Let's see what we got. Let's see if there's a particular question. Some of them just saying good information, good show, and where's the lady that said Dr. Short talked negatively about Baltimore?
That's crazy.
I had a sister call in after I had you on the show last week. Say he always.
Hello. Okay. Look.
Evening, caller. You on the State of the City with Dr. Randy Short? Yes, sir. Loud and clear, Brother West. How are you? Shalom.
Hey, I'm still enjoying this show, man.
Thank you. What's your question?
I got a question.
Okay.
It's gonna take some real black women to go after these damn lesbos, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir. Got to get close to the phone. You fading on me. Get close to that phone, brother. You fading out on me.
You hear me better now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take some real. When a man go after, he look like Boule, Mel and all that. And then I gonna take some brothers and go after these fucking fine dudes like Van Jones, man, trying to whatever name, Doc River, man.
Yes, sir. Right. Come on, get close to the phone. You fading out on me, brother.
That right there for me, that number, that's the late, whatever, man.
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. Thank you, brother. All right, peace. Yeah, he was going in and out. No, he was just, you heard what he said as far as the sisters and
Yes,
the brothers.
I welcome it.
The numerology of
I welcome black women being Ida B. Wells, Daisy Bates, C. Dolores Tucker. I've met some great black women that stand up. That's what I want. I'm not asking for a woman to be a doormat or to be abused. I'm saying to her, be a regal queen, but at the same time, demand and have an order. The women. It's the same way Clara Muhammad didn't allow the women to go wild in the Nation of Islam. Why can't women hold women accountable? If the women did their share, I could shut up. I would happily shut up. But there's been a silence. And so a lot of women have to straighten their backs. They spend so much time giving black men hell, they forget that some of what they need to do is give the women that are out of line hell.
That's right.
There was a woman doctor, in Baltimore, and she was giving Depo-Provera to the girls out there in Baltimore. And I was saying to her, the depot is really bad for black women. And she started yelling and screaming at me. And I wasn't saying black women couldn't have birth control, but why the worst thing for our women? Why not the safest thing? She yelled, screamed, made it seem as if I threatened her. And so I said to her, sister, since you're so committed to depot, would you use it? Or would you give it to your daughter or nieces? And she snapped, hell no. I'm in the trenches. That's the best that they can get. I says, that's not the best that they can get. Why not low dose birth control pills like what you give to the white girls that you take care of? And she said, you're a man. You're not in a position to say anything. So in other words, if a woman is killing women, I better shut up because I'm a man. These women are doing so. Wait a minute. If the racists start killing black women that are independent, black men shouldn't get involved because we're not women. These folks are doing a very dangerous thing. Trust me, do something to a white woman, and I assure you, white men will get involved. Who told black women that we're not supposed to support and protect them? And who told punk-ass black men their only businesses is to rape, get over, and they care more about what a woman has in her pocketbook than in her mind and her heart? That's insanity. So no, I want to make this very clear. When we criticize the sisters, it is not all sisters, it's the rogue ones. And I think when we talk about brothers and how they're no good, and how the ones like to spread venereal disease and such in and out of prison, they got more girlfriends in jail, and then they come out and infect a woman. We're against this stuff. But we need to make it clear that the pork chop feminists support this behavior, because anything that brings men down brings down the patriarchy, meaning that the very liberation that they say they're giving women necessitates that women be debauched, degraded, and discarded. This is what this white supremacist lesbian feminism means. It's a threat. And in a sense, because women are the backbone of our people, if our women have these crazy ideas in their head, then we are finished as a community. If we'd rather kill a baby than have one, we'd rather be with a man that wouldn't form a family than have a man who heads a household. That's our destruction.
That's right. Now, I had a sister ask the question. You mentioned about Trump, fear of perhaps being prosecuted and going to jail. She wanted to know if you could, I think, go further into what you're
I'm going to go very quickly. The Southern District of New York, they don't like Trump in New York City. The Southern District of New York, they got some, you remember the word back in the day, Darren? I got some go. That's an expression we use in DC too. Go means I'm going to kick you behind. They got some go for Trump and the Southern District of New York over corruption, tax abatements, and all kinds of stuff that he's done. They will nail him to the cross like he's Jesus on Crisco. Okay? There's no way that Trump can survive not being president of this country. Okay? I'm just going to say that to you. Someone asked about Stacey Abrams. Look, my dear friend Cynthia McKinney told me that Stacey Abrams was basically the butter biscuit bedwench of the white liberal enemies of black folks in the state house in Georgia. And she did everything she did to checkmate strong, progressive, pro-black members of the Georgia State House. She is not for black people. And I won't tell you who told, but she is LGBTQ. She is LGBTQ. And she does look like a black sumo wrestler with the jury curl. She is not for us. They will never advance a black person that's nationalistic. Okay? I'm sorry. Ida B. Wells' nephew. I didn't mean to call you a woman. So many people, you can't tell these days. You get in trouble when you try to figure it out. I'm sorry.
Let's see. I gotta move this so I can look at some questions. So for those on YouTube, you're gonna block for a minute. So I want to look at your questions so that I can get your questions to Dr. Short. Let's see. Quickly got a question. They say you can't turn. No, that's another one we're talking about. Vice President. They can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but it seems you can turn a hoe into a vice president. That's somebody else comment about Kumala.
Well, I wouldn't even know. She's not a hoe. She's a prostitute, and perhaps the best that there's ever been, to parlay blowjobs in the basement of City Hall with Willie Brown into being the most powerful woman potentially in the world. That's not a hoe. That's a prostitute.
That's a prostitute.
That's
Yes, sir.
a good prostitute, the greatest.
The one we talking about Kim Clayson was a stripper, right?
She was a stripper. She's smart. I mean, look. I mean, maybe some of that secret sauce influences the brain cells, but Kumala has proven to be as formidable laying down as standing up when she's trying to get something. And let that be a lesson to all the folks who are sex workers, whatever. You don't have to be stupid when you're giving your body. You can parlay it into something. Not that I want to encourage anybody to be a hoe, but if you must, be a brilliant hoe, be an intelligent hoe. I mean, be a powerful hoe, be a power broking hoe. I mean, Fanny Pleasance was a hoe, and she was financing Black Revolution. I mean, so in fact, I had someone tell me, a pastor says, you should stop judging her. I says, I didn't judge her for being a hoe. I said, Kumala being a hoe is the most admirable thing about her. There's nothing else to like.
As we talk about the voting machine, someone mentioned quantum voting system, says it cannot be rigged. I'm not familiar with it. I'll look into it.
But we didn't talk about quantum. We talked about Dominion.
We talked about, of course, Diebold. We talked about ES and S, also automatic, Smartomatic, and the other one was the Heart Introcivic, which is owned by the Romney family. Let's see what else we had. I wanted to definitely make sure in terms of getting your questions. Okay, all right. Another one is Biden must not be worried about the lawsuits. He's moving forward with this transition team. Let me get your thoughts.
Well, I don't even think he knows where he is right now. I think they've given him enough Prevagen to be a Leisure World in the whole state of Florida. They have drugged him up, doped him up, done everything. So he's absolutely out of his mind. And also, if he does not win the presidency, his whole dynasty will go down. He's a crook. He's a money launderer. There's a possibility that they're involved in sex and human trafficking as well. There's no way they can survive. Both the Bidens and the Trumps need to stay in the White House to save their asses. And I don't think Biden's going to be able to stay in there. Hunter Biden is like an albatross the size of the World Trade Center around his father's neck. Joe Biden's a crook. His brother's a crook. His shoplifting niece is a crook. They're just crooked, dirty, racist, degenerate people. They represent the dark heart of the Anglo-Aryan elite that have been oppressing us 400 years. And him needing a facelift, he probably had something to help him with his erectile dysfunction. There's just nothing about these people that's interesting. They belong in jail. Guantanamo could just take them all in there. In fact, they like going to hot countries looking for people. They can just go down there and just stay.
Absolutely. Again, family, just turned in, have a conversation. Special edition State of the City with my brother, Dr. Randy Short. Did we make it to that 16 or 27 YouTube subscribers so that you're now at 1,000?
Let me tell you, they've been letting me down, my brother. They've
been letting us down?
I have 981. Ask everybody to just stop and take a second and go to Randy Short on YouTube.
We're gonna do what white folk did last Tuesday. We're gonna stop it like they did with the election machine, Doc. We're gonna stop it right now.
Yeah.
Until we get you at 981. We need 19 more, right?
Yeah, 19 people that's coming and subscribe.
I don't want to do Joe Biden, man.
Right.
I be talking about 19.
Yeah, because I have 114 people. 114 people watching. If just some of them came in and did that, we would do that. If we could get 10 from you and 9 from me, then we're good.
Right.
Okay, I know we're gonna pick up some other people, but we need 19 people.
We ain't talking about all the intelligence agencies that's gonna be listening to it.
Yeah, well, no, well, I don't think about them.
We know they tuned in right now, right?
Okay, let's see if they did it. Okay, no, so nobody's taking it. So you know what? That's amazing, and this is free. Now you know what? This is
CNN.
Yes.
Right? His name Van Jones, or we're talking about for a minute. You told me earlier about what's his name, Juan Williams attacking black men.
Yes, Juan Williams trash black men.
Because when this is over, she might lose her wig, man. When she said,
well,
anybody that voted for Trump, she'll never forgive. Let me get your thoughts.
Well, she hasn't forgiven black people for not being as rich as her, not learning how to game a system. Okay. Let's just be honest about that. Maxine Waters is basically a has-been black activist. They used to have some fire to them. I used to admire and love Maxine Waters. She needs to retire, and maybe she needs to find herself another man, woman, something, let her husband run after whoever he's run after, and live in her big mansion. Okay. I mean, so I'm just saying. So Maxine, yawn. Now, Juan Williams moved to Washington, D.C. in 1974. He used to live on, I believe, 2nd Street Northwest, 2 blocks from Howard University. I remember when he moved in the neighborhood. Juan Williams used to try, but he's a Panamanian or a Panamaniac. You'll find a lot of Panamanians who are Jamaicans are confused, and they have a very ambivalent issue about race. He got put in, and I will remind anybody, I was working for the Washington Post at the same time that Clarence Thomas was fighting for his court position. And at the same time that Juan Williams was being accused of sexually harassing and abusing the white women on the staff of the Washington Post. And yes, when I worked for the Department of Circulations, the meeting of all the white women that hated Juan Williams's ass was outside, and we heard, and Juan Williams had to come in and apologize because those white women nearly smashed him. He was almost done. And Juan Williams hasn't been quite the same since those white women says, we will destroy you. He apparently had offended all of the white women. I'm telling you, about 100 white women in the hallway that were demanding that Mr. Graham and others crush Juan Williams for how he talked to them.
Were owning the Washington Post at that time.
That's right, before Pito got it. Right? This was when one of my mentors, Vincent Reed, okay, so Juan Williams had pissed off, had touched too many, probably pinched a titty too many, and the folks were mad. So for him to talk about black men, he needs to just, just make your money and leave us alone. I mean, he's not a B1. He's not a foundational black American. He's back and forth between Fox and NPR. He can't figure out which side he wants to be on. And in the words of Armstrong Williams, when I got an introduction to Armstrong Williams through Juan Williams, Armstrong Williams said, "What's your relationship with him? That's a scandalous brother." I refuse, because look, I don't.
Armstrong Williams called Juan Williams scandalous, huh?
Yes.
And for those that may not know about Armstrong Williams, take a minute, because Oprah Winfrey's supposedly Boule has a public relation firm with Armstrong Williams,
right.
What's his name? What's the guy Oprah always claims she must be her boo, but she never marries, right?
Well, I call him Headman. But Stedman
Graham. Talk about that for a minute.
All I'm saying, he comes from a high yellow family. Certain people swear up and down the dude swings both ways like Tarzan. I don't know. As far as Armstrong Williams, Armstrong Williams has had to fight some legal battles and allegations of how he's treated staff. I won't say how. Go look it up. Armstrong Williams owns more TV stations than any black person in the United States. And sometimes
what's the brother, the former comedian on the West Coast? That was trying to front for CBS.
You mean Lion Allen? Lion Allen.
Yeah, like more than Lion Allen, Armstrong Williams.
Yeah, well, I mean, and his show used to be Real People, and there's nothing real about that fake nigga. I'm just saying to you. So I never, I didn't care.
I think Judge Brown kind of exposed what Byron Allen was trying to put down, to run down on the people for the most part. But it was Kathy Hughes that brought us Armstrong Williams on Radio 1. Is that correct?
She always brought. I mean, who's the other guy who tried to pick me up in Georgetown Park? I was surprised. Melvin Lindsay. I was thinking, dude, this man's a tall. I mean, what are you bothering? I'm like 5'11". You're like 6'2". Nice hair. All the women like you. What are you winking at men for, dude? I mean, the women. Well, and the storm took him out of here. It had 4 letters in it. Okay, and I like Melvin Lindsay. I don't hate people when they got these problems. I was just shocked that dudes out cruising Georgetown Park when you're a public figure. You don't do that.
Right. Right. Again, family, just tuning in. This is a special Monday edition with our brother again. Brother, now we get to that number, brother. I kind of paused, didn't take any more calls. So if we get to that number, somebody sent me a text saying we at 986. If we get to that magical number of 1,000.
I don't know. I have to work harder for stuff. If I'm up here doing some dumb stuff with some strippers and some weed and talk, okay, right. I'm at 990. Okay, we just need 10 more. That means I can.
10 more. That's the countdown.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. 10 more. I feel like I'm in one of those storefront churches asking for a few more dollars so we can give something to the speaker. $5 more.
Now, before we begin, let's give you contact info and your cash app where brothers and sisters can find you, and then how they can support you as well. Okay. Well,
my email, which is the same as my PayPal, is wrandyshort@gmail. My Instagram is randyshort1965. My Patreon is Dr. Randy Short 1965. My Twitter is DRS1 1965. My Facebook are Randy Short and Randy Lancaster Short, and also my YouTubes are Randy Short and Randy Lancaster Short. And of course, the Cash App is $DRRENDYSHORT, Dr. Randy Short. And so, I think my Patreon is Dr. Randy Short 1965. Yep. Let's communicate. Let's share.
And your YouTube page again? Make sure you get
it's Randy Short. It's very simple.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'm moving up a little. I need 8 more, y'all. Come on. In the name of Jesus. Where's my tambourine? You want me to get my tambourine?
You know what they said? With the presidential
Lord Jesus. We need 8. We need you, Jesus. We need you, Jesus. We need 8 more. Hallelujah. Yeah. Hey. We need 8 more. So this boy can raise some hell on this platform, G.
Let me get your thoughts. This is another question, and this is another question that you can be talking about Bishop Larry Gathers, who's a bishop that Sister Latoya sent me information on. This Sister Carla sent me information on. But he's been on Alex Jones recently. Talk about how, for some of our people, as we keep talking about 2016, the alt-right, the Alex Jones, the Roger Stones.
We've got to work with everybody that we have to, because I'll tell you, at least certain people on the right don't want to support the pedophile agenda. They're not supporting us being vaxxed. They're not supporting eugenics, which is the extermination of Black people. On the left, they support our elimination. Now, they don't love us on the right, but they're not advocating for us, not the majority. You do have the people who believe in the day of the rope. You do have the people that want to have the Turner Diaries where they massacre Black folks. Yes, you've got those, but you also have them on the other side. And they do it better. They do it through Planned Parenthood. They do it through vaccinations. They do it through having the Black kids be pushed to be on pharmaceuticals that are psychotropic drugs that mess them up. They push these wars without end, where we disproportionately end up at war. So the real answer is what we will do for each other. It's the same way, brother. I work with the one, and this thing for my platform, I've been talking to you since 2013. I've never really bugged anybody about my platform. I've often come on yours. I'm not tripping off, but I got to have mine. By the way, I just need 3 more. 3 more, Jesus. Holy Jesus.
Another question.
Yeah, Lord. I'm sorry. Hey, Jesus. We need 2 more. 2 more. Is there someone? Yes, the doors of the church is open. Hey, now I just need 2. Somebody.
One of the callers said it's done, Doc. We should be at 1,000 now. Now, other question I looked at. If all this information was true about Joe Biden, they said, why didn't it come out 8 years ago while he was the vice president? All this information is true.
You know why it didn't come out. Joe Biden works for the banks. So we haven't been able to get one person in 8 years to look at lynching in Delaware. No major, no matter what. In fact, they haven't even, for the people that are dead, the Justice Department, I think I sent you the letter, Brother Darren, they said there was an investigation and nobody could find out where. No one's been willing to help because Joe Biden works for the banks and the banks run this country.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Oh, Lord, and I need one more, Jesus. Hey, I need one. Somebody help me, Lord. Over in Baltimore. Oh, don't let the lead in the water stop your children. Hey.
Tonight. So you got a question for Doc. We're gonna go till 9:30. We got about 10 more minutes.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my. Let me get my tambourine. Hey. Help me. You know what? I'm gonna do what the sisters do. Honda, Suzuki Jesus, Hyundai, Toyota, Maserati, Lamborghini Jesus.
Let me say we gotta get the question on you too. Let me have the block you on. Let's go get the board right here. Let's see.
Oh, I made it. Hold on.
Operation. One of the callers want to know about Operation Warp Speed in terms of what the White House was using to put together their task force on this whole coronavirus pandemic.
I don't really know anything about that, unfortunately. What I do know is this: Fauci is a monster. Donald Trump did try to help Black people.
Right.
I can introduce you to Dr. Thomas, brother. That's the one who gives me all the hookups to get the hydroxy and telling people about the Donald Trump.
And we interviewed through you. I interviewed Dr. Emmanuel.
They were trying. Some 80,000 Black people have died. We tried to save them. I did what I could. I could. We didn't get any help from the churches, none of the Black civil rights groups, nobody. This is to show you the corruption of the Boule and the Black elite. They let 80,000 Black people die senselessly this year. It didn't have to be like this. It didn't have to. So, the task force is what white folk do, but what would Black people doing to save our lives? Okay.
Right.
I can say that Ray Fontroy, I was able to at least save one person. If everybody had reached out to try to get the elderberry and the other stuff to the people, we would have survived. Are you understanding me?
The vitamin D, the
and vitamin D, all this stuff. I mean, we could survive. We could make it. You know what I'm saying? And I just wish.
Yep.
Hold on, I'm just looking to see. Hold 1 second. Come on. Where is it? Okay.
We in there?
Oh, no. You know what? These people mess with our phones, right? So I've got my, oh my God. I see what happened. Hold on 1 second. I got to put my extension cord in. 1 second, because I didn't want my phone to die. Looking sudden dying.
Sister said the praise you sent, the praise you were doing was definitely worth the Cash App, Doc. So she was sending you something.
Okay, well, no
more praise.
Okay, because you know what I say? Oh, Lord, Darren Muhammad, over in the city of Baltimore, blessing Jesus. He's standing up, state of the city. City Hall full of crooks, full of roaches. But Darren Muhammad, standing strong in Baltimore. Oh, when everybody move out to the suburbs, Brother Darren stay. Y'all got to send him some resources like Elijah at the brook. Oh, send him something. He need a piece. He needs some money. Oh, so he can continue to stand for the people in the city and be more and more we need. And we need some more money for Brother Darren. Oh, he's a righteous man, a good man, got beautiful children. Oh, y'all just bless him. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, Okay, I'm gonna bring you back in the church. I'm gonna take the bean pies and give you some chitlins. Yes, no. No, I'm sorry. Let me stop.
All right, come on.
Okay.
All right. Now, I had a sister ask the question. She was talking about, I think, Bishop, the bishop that I mentioned.
Gaither, I like what he's saying. I'm loving it.
He said Biden and his wife could be a clone. Want to get your thoughts on
I don't know about the clone. I don't know that, but I know that she's a conspirator, possibly to murder. She's certainly an adulteress, screwing this man who was married. That's a fact.
She was married, and then her husband said that he introduced his wife to Joe Biden at a fundraiser.
Right.
And then next thing you know, Joe Biden was dating his wife.
No, he was having adultery with his wife.
Having adulterous affair with his wife.
While his first wife was living.
It sounds like some John McCain.
But it's deeper than that. That man fought to make certain that his children weren't in Joe Biden's house. They know he's a freak. Okay.
That was
super freaky, yow.
That was kind of like John McCain. Now, before we wrap up, it was the Lieutenant General McGurney who talked about this program, Operation Hammer and Scorecard. He was banned from coming on CNN because he said that Joe Biden was a military traitor. For those that may not know, Bobby D. Gregory told me the story about Joe Biden. Of course, Trump went in, not Joe Biden, but on John McCain. D. Gregory told me about John McCain. John McCain talked about it in the book that he wrote. And, of course, Donald Trump said that John McCain's only claim to fame was that he was a
prisoner,
war criminal, right? In Vietnam. Now, for those that may not know, please talk about that before we wrap.
It's real fast. He was in the Hanoi Hilton, which was the prison that they kept the U.S. servicemen in Vietnam. John McCain snitched out and gave all the secret flight plans and all to the Vietnamese intelligence, and that enabled them to shoot down large numbers of American planes and fighters in it. John McCain should have been executed as a traitor, but his father was an admiral. In fact, his father was the one that led the invasion where they were mass killing black people in the Dominican Republic who were following our black movement and decided to try to have one. And they went in and killed maybe 16 to 20,000 people, primarily black Dominicans. So
what happened with John McCain?
John McCain got to be a hero because his father was connected, and the rest is history. He was a racist to the core, nasty person. One of his favorite activities was go down to a restaurant called Old Ebbitt Grill and tell nigger jokes all night. So unlike Dave Chappelle,
and when his wife was dying, when his wife was sick, he went off married another woman. It was like his fourth wife. Is that correct?
And yes, and she was younger. And here's the other thing. You know who else did that? Newt Gingrich. But the thing I tell you about Newt Gingrich is very interesting is that his anus is black, and he spent large amounts of money trying to get his anus to look pink like the rest of them. Now, he left his wife when she was on her deathbed, too. She was dying from cancer, and he got another woman. You know, I mean, you know what? It's interesting that the white men get all this credit being so sensitive, and the black men that stay with their dying wives, black men ain't shit. Yes, I'm back at y'all pork chop feminists. There's some good black men out here, and there's some good black women. We need to find each other, and then we need to regulate the rogue, no good, what I call toxic pimp syndrome, and the weaponized pork chop feminist traitors who are making life hell on us. Okay, we need to do that. Let me see. I need to watch a movie with my mother so she doesn't throw me out.
Let's get some closing comments, Doc.
Okay, well, one, we got to love each other. We've got to go back to the land. You need to strap up, have weaponry, buy seeds, and black folks need to pool their money and buy land wherever they can. Land is the source of all wealth and money. And Kentucky and every place, the white folks are buying land all over the place like it's cocaine at a party in the 80s. We need to buy land, and there's still farmland. We haven't lost all of our farmland. Stop believing this bullshit that black folks don't have any acres anymore. There are black folks who have land that don't even think to do anything, not even have a porta-john on it. Land is important. And as far as I'm concerned, America is my goddamn Congo until I can figure out how to get the hell out of here, if I even leave. Your Congo, your Nigeria, your Angola, your South Africa, or Zania, whatever you want to call it, your Akebulan is right here. Buy it, own it, strap up, arm it, defend it, and love somebody else. Work together with those that will work with you, and bless people like Brother Darren. Bless your independent Black media. Folks have no idea. Independent Black media is one of the reasons that folks didn't go for the okie doke. The most powerful media in the world trembles at the sound of the voice of Darren Muhammad, Professor Black Truth, Tariq Nasheed, yes, even Umar Johnson, Judge Joe Brown, Sister Vicky Dillard, and so forth, and maybe to a lesser degree. And thank you all for my 1,000. I will be going live, raising as much hell as I can until they kick me off. Okay. God bless y'all. I love you, Baltimore. DC and Baltimore have to work together. Okay. All right. See y'all.
All right. Thank you, my brother. All right, peace.
All right.
Family, just tuning in, just concluded our conversation with Brother Dr. Randy Short. Special edition of the State of the City. Got to thank my daughter, Princess Asada, for bringing us in, taking us out. And, of course, my other daughter, Princess Amina, my two youngest daughters. So we're going to broadcast this show on our Facebook page, on Dr. Randy Short, Dr. Randy Lancaster Short Facebook page, and on our YouTube channel. So I thank all of you that tuned in, those that stayed for the extra 30 minutes as we went till 9:30, and those that weren't able to stay, we'll broadcast the show. To support the show, our Cash App is $SOTC Muhammad, $SOTC Muhammad, and PayPal is dermuhammad@gmail.com. So I thank all of you that tuned in. We'll be back on our regularly scheduled show Wednesday, 7 p.m. here at Facebook Live, and we'll be back on Saturday, WFBR 1590, in which we stream the show live and on our YouTube and on our Spreaker channel. So I thank you, Brother Dr. Short, and I thank all of the viewers that tuned in tonight, share this information, and as I always say, stay watchful, stay vigilant, question everything, and question everyone. We about it. Peace.
Okay, Brother Darren, see you. I am trying. I think. He said, thanks. I didn't even notice. He didn't even want to be. Just tell him.